are now about to hear the voice of the Commonwealth. Straight out of Mirror, crazy podcaster named Mike Martin from the show called Mike in the Night. 3 in the morning and the city still breathing. Truth on a mic while the whole world's sleeping. News ain't real, man, the script's been written. Mic on the air and the signal ain't hidden. From the coastlines out to the prairie towns, people tuning in when the sun goes down. No suits, no script, just a mic in a fight. When the clock hits 3, it's Mike in the Night. They try to mute it, try to shut it tight, but the truth keeps running through the wires at night. Street level talk, no polished promotion, just the raw voice of the Commonwealth spoken. Mike in the Night, hear the broadcast roar, truth on the line like never before. 3 a.m. and the system's in sight, voice of the Commonwealth. Mike in the Night, Mike in the Night, cutting through the smoke, no safe lies, every word gets spoke. From the streets to the satellite height, voice of the Commonwealth, Mike in the Night. Government papers and midnight deals, backroom whispers, spinning the wheels, but the people still watching, they reading between every headline flashing on a glowing screen. Radio waves cutting straight through the lies, late night signal, opening eyes, no filters here when the words ignite. It's the underground hour, Mike in the Night. Truth move fast when the silence breaks. One microphone and the whole world shakes. They can try to spin it, but the people know when that midnight broadcast starts to flow. Mike in the Night, hear the broadcast roar, truth on the line like never before. 3 a.m. and the system's in sight, voice of the Commonwealth, Mike in the Night. Across cities, across borders, across the dark hours of the world, across the dark hours of the world, the signal travels, the voice of the Commonwealth. No permission slips, no scripted scene, just a midnight voice on the frequency. From Merritt Streets to the global stage, one's on the mic, turning up the page. 3 a.m. when the quiet gets loud, one voice cutting straight through the crowd. History written in the dead of night, signed on the air, Mike in the Night. You have just heard the voice of the Commonwealth.
Tonight. Today is 15th week of 2026. We're in our 15th week of 2026. Today is Monday, the 6th of April, 2026, week 15. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy Easter Monday. He has risen. Jesus conquered death. Amen. And I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you be watching this transmission. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky, or your camper or cabin in the woods, or relaxing on your lazy boy. People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It is 3 a.m. somewhere, and something is moving you. People of the night, you're tuned into a good show. It's Mike in the Night. All right, guys, let's go over let's go over this real quick. 645. And we are sitting on, believe it or not, Season 35, Episode 4. Season 35, Episode 4 of Mike in the Night. Guys, if you want to join our email list, it's MikeMartins1980@gmail.com. Just go ahead and email me, and then I'll add you to our mail list if you don't want to miss an episode of Mike in the Night. MikeMartins1980@gmail.com. And guys, don't forget, viewer discretion is advised. 21 and older. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Fact check and do your own research. It's 18 U.S. Code Section 2257 for Mike of the Night. All right. Oh, man, do we have a big show planned for you. Lots of headlines. We've got some callers in. We're going to get our girl in from to protect the children where she's at. There's going to be a big rally this next couple of days, so we're going to get her back on again. Apparently, there's another rally happening they're happening across Canada, and Moms Resist. Sorry, I just, blanked out there. Moms Resist. And they're going to be basically rallying across Canada on the 11th of April. So we're on the 6th of April. We still got a few days to try and get the word out there and share this information. And it's very important that this message gets out, right? Oh, all right. So it looks good. It looks good. It looks like the chat is starting to fill up here tonight on Mike of the Night. Good, good. All right, guys, let's go. Let's do a quick channel plug, and then we're going to give you guys, if you want to guys call into the show, you're more than welcome to call into the show. All right, guys, if you want to buy me a coffee, go ahead and do that. Buy me a coffee. And if you want to support the transmission, that's the only way we make any income. We make very little income on this channel, like little. I'm talking about like we average about $640 to $700 a year. $700 a year. And I'm putting my neck on the line here doing this show. And I just want to let everybody know that we just passed 114,000 subscribers on YouTube. YouTube has finally opened our channel for the first time in like 8 years. We're finally open again. For the first time in 8 years, ladies and gentlemen. 21 YouTube suspensions. 2007 videos taken down. Holy crap, and we're still here. And 1 channel termination in 2012. And there's the Facebook there if you guys want to check us out. We are on fire on Facebook. Literally on fire. And the Instagram here, guys. This is the Instagram where you will message me if you want to come on the show. There it is. Woo! Boom. There's the Instagram if you guys want to message me. And TikTok. We are back on TikTok. Well, we keep getting banned and getting reinstated. Banned, reinstated, banned, reinstated. So this channel looks like it's sticking after three times being banned. And mikeandthenight.org takes you to all the episodes of Mike in the Night if you want to binge watch old episodes of Mike in the Night. If you want to see what we're talking about, callers, people calling in from all over the world, weird callers, people from the future, people from the past, people from all over the place that have a message for us or a message to give us here on Mike in the Night. And if you want to shop Mike Martins, I still haven't sold anything this year, but hopefully, I'll sell a mug this year or maybe a t-shirt. We usually sell 2 things a year. So if you want to be one of my 2 customers this year, go ahead and buy something. And then Moms Resist, guys. Don't forget Moms Resist. Show up on April 11, 2026. Find a location in the posters below. So there's going to be multiple locations where Moms Resist are going to save our children and from child trafficking and exploitation, right? And then there's the Moms Resist Instagram. If you guys want to follow their Instagram page, here it is right here. Boom, paste, boom, there it is. Follow it right now. Moms Resist. Okay. All right. So you are tuned in to episode 645. Oh my God. I'm just surprised I'm still alive after all this time. I'm just shocked after all these years and just going. I'm still shocked. I'm still doing this show after all these years. Holy, what a shock. So we got, all right, comments are moving nicely. Someone says they sent me a donation. Thank you, whoever sent me a donation there. Whoever sent me a donation. There it is right there. Thank you for the coffee, buddy. Yeah, I usually get 1 or 2 coffees a show. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you. All right, guys, let's get into some headlines here today on Mike in the Night. Tonight on Mike in the Night. It is 3 a.m. and something is moving you. All right, so let's kick off down under real quick in Australia. Boom in Australia. Australia's fuel shipments secured well into May, Energy Minister says. Why doesn't Australia have fuel refining plants? Oh, they wanted to go green. Remember the Thunberg persuasion. We're going to shut down our oil, diesel, and gas refineries for fuel because we're going to go green. And what did Australia do? Australia did the exact same thing Canada did. Close refineries and what? Chinese money laundering. And we made a video right here. Fuel manufacturing getting cut. Gas spikes ahead. That was 7 years ago. We were warning you guys that gas spikes will start going up because of fuel manufacturing is being cut. And there it is. And the Chinese, they wanted the Chinese money. So $1.9 trillion was laundered through Australia from 2012 to 2024 from China, creating bidding wars, artificial shortages. Australia's economy, perfect storm disaster. Chinese will buy out Australia when rate hike hits 6 years ago. Look at this. Look at this. Chinese to return to Australia. Chinese students buy up homes amid rental crisis. Money laundering 6 years ago. Australia clamps down on money laundering. Chinese retreat from Australian property market 8 years ago. But don't worry, folks. It came back, and they allowed the Chinese to come back because that's the only way the Australian economy will survive is off of Chinese money laundering. Yep, you got bought out. You went to bidding wars. You paid too much for your house, and now they're going to raise rates, and we told you they're going to raise rates. And we told you a lot on here. But yeah, here it is, folks. There it is. All right, let's move on from Australia. Canada. Okay. All right, we're going to go to Canada. See what's happening in Canada. So, Carney. Remember this guy back in November 2022? We told you a man named Mark Carney is going to come and become your prime minister. Remember this guy? Everyone was laughing at me. He said, he's a banker, Mike. He's not a politician. Unsub. Here we are. Carney announces $3.8 billion to protect nature. Mama Fangolo, protect nature. Papu caray, to protect nature. New conservation sites in James Bay and Manitoba. $3.8 billion to protect nature. Here, I'll show you guys in sign language. To protect nature. Money laundering. Gonna clean the money. That's what this guy signed all these big deals, infrastructure things. Nothing happened. And I told you, this guy needs to protect the Chinese Communist Party. This guy came in to protect Chinese assets, the fentanyl, and we told you they were going to stage fake fentanyl busts, and everyone was calling me fat. Now they staged the fake fentanyl busts to make it look like they're cracking down on fentanyl. You crack down on fentanyl, you crack down on China. And that doesn't work like that. Carney's here to protect the Chinese Communist interests. And that's just how it works. And that's how you're going to have to live by it. Oh yeah, watch when the farms, Chinese-owned farms in Canada, especially the ones along the U.S.-Canadian border we've been talking about for the last 5 years. Watch when that comes up. Watch when the vacant homes come up. Almost 4 million vacant homes owned by Chinese investors. China comes in and destroyed your country. I don't give a shit if you're watching this in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, the blue states of America, and Canada. China destroyed your country. Your country speaks English, it's destroyed. And if you're in Africa, South America, and Central America, China raped your country. In Angola, in Portuguese Africa, I was watching the news down in Angola because I speak Portuguese, it's my first language. I'm watching them saying, we want the Chinese out, they're racists. We want these people out of our country now. They don't assimilate, they're garbage. We want the Portuguese back. That's what they want. They want the Portuguese back. That's what they want back there because the Portuguese built that place nice. That was a good place to live. All right, let's go. Woo! Let's head over to Vancouver. Vancouver real estate prices rise as inventory hits 13 high. Wait, prices are going up and inventory hits a 13-year high? Yeah, it's called a melt-up. This is the melt-up we've been telling you guys about for the longest time. This is the melt-up, right? Vancouver home sales 32% below the 10-year average. Inventory at a 13-year high. There's your 13 years right there going back to 2012. And that's when the money laundering started going strong in Vancouver and then moving out east to Toronto by 2016, 2017 when Vancouver put on the foreign buyers tax, right? But the Chinese and Ontario municipalities say that they're at a critical point. Call on province to fill $4 billion funding gap. Yeah? So the cities are going broke. Municipalities are going broke. They're short $4 billion. Not pesos, dollars. And how? And we told you Taxation of doom, carbon tax wars, cities going broke, taxed to death, bogus charges. Where is this? Socialized natural gas prices killing middle class. Cities are going broke. They're going to tax us to death. We've been warned. Look, property tax going crazy. Canadian cities going broke. Wokeness. Watch when they raise rates 4 years ago. Cities are desperate. They're going broke. Rain tax, right? Massive taxation ahead in Canada in 2023 as government and cities go broke. We've been telling you cities are going broke. Seattle's going broke. Yeah. So there it is right there for you guys, folks. We've been warning you guys about this. And Canadian gas prices see record surge. Inflation to follow. Oh, yeah. Do the math, guys. It's all math. We're looking at the bond markets. We're looking at everything. Everything's going to go up. And it's being pushed up. And federal liberal support slips. Oh, more bullshit. Watch this bullshit here. Federal liberal support slips. Oh no, but Carney maintains double-digit support in poll. This is bullshit. Look, it's heel versus face. Look, heel versus face. It's all a lie. Justin Trudeau versus Pierre Poilievre. No one is on your side, Canada. No one's coming to save you, Justin Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre. It's heel versus face. Have you been to a wrestling match? Have you saw wrestling? They're all enemies on camera. Then after camera, they're all on the same team in the end. It's heel versus face. Look, bullshit. Look at this. Merda. Look at this. Liberal support slips. What a bunch of garbage. But Carney maintains double-digit support. Oh, wow. Yeah. Bullshit. All right. Let's go to war. We're going to be going to war. All right, let's go to yeah, everyone's commenting here. Yeah, this is 645. Right? Let's I guess we go to war, right? Hey, like we've been saying for the last, like they took my video down from 2014. No, 2012. My 2012 video they took down. They're going to bankrupt your country. They're going to bankrupt your families. And when it's all bankrupt, they take your kids to war. They took my video down, what, a month ago now. A month ago, they took my 2012 video down a month ago. From 2012 of me saying that. You know what it is? It's because another content creator wants to use it. When another content creator wants to use my shit, they just delete my video. Oh, he said this first. No, he didn't. Delete. Right here. All right, here we go. Let's go to war. Iran state media says Tehran rejects latest ceasefire proposal and wants permanent end to the war. So Iran state media says Tehran rejects latest. Now let's go over to here. U.S. sent a lot of arms to Iranian protesters. Kurdish intermediaries allegedly withheld the weapons instead of attempting to facilitate regime change in Tehran. So they sent them weapons to, like they tried to do, like the U.S. did in Cuba, where they sent weapons over, right, to try to overthrow, Castro. They tried to get things done right there. But nothing got done right, and they just took the weapons and kept it for themselves, right? So, yeah, that's a big disaster right there. And Israel hits Iranian petrochemical plants in massive gas field as Trump's deadline approaches. So there it is. That's the petrochemical that we should have these in every country. We should have these because we could import oil in real easy. And Canada's got a lot of oil. And a lot of our oil is good for diesel. And diesel in Canada should be 20, 30 cents a liter. All day, all night, all week, all year, because we just need the petrol plants, which they closed down because of Greta Thunberg. Mafangulo, Greta Thunberg. Come here, gonna go green. We need Chinese money laundering. We need to prop up our housing markets. China's gonna save you. But then we shut down our petroleum and gas plants that we could create thousands of jobs across the country. Thousands of jobs. Yep. Bullshit. You don't need Iran to refine oil. You can get the oil from Iran and refine it in your own country and create jobs. But they want to go green! Fuck you! Okay, Israeli army launches a raid on Ziran in Lebanon. Oh, this is 9 hours ago. Let me refresh this. We'll refresh a key. Let's do a refresh a key. Here we go. Complete demolition. Trump repeats Iran ultimatum as deal deadline looms. Blasts heard in Damascus from Israeli air defenses intercepting missiles, Syria State TV says. Explosions heard near Iran's Karaj. U.S.-Israel air campaign against Iran intensifying. And 35 minutes ago, will Trump extend deadline for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz? There it is. Ukraine drones target key U.S.-linked oil hub in Russia, says Defense Ministry. Infrastructure damaged in the port of Novorossiysk is operated by the party U.S. corporate-owned Caspian pipeline Constream. So Ukrainian drones target key U.S. linked oil hub in Russia. So yeah, Ukraine's gonna do whatever it can to get this proxy war going because this piece of shit Zelensky, fraudster, piece of garbage. And I'm gonna just take a drink here. Drink some water.
We're asking for a war update after our accurate prediction back in 2023, how this was gonna unfold in 2026. So what's happening? Nobody's declaring war, but everybody's already in it. Yes. We are now officially in the escalation phase. That's where we're at. Not the beginning, not the end, the middle. And why is it important in the middle? It's because that's where everything connects. Israel has expanded its operations beyond Gaza, now pulling Lebanon deeper in. And we predicted that. Iran is fully engaged indirectly, backing militias across Lebanon, Syria, Iraq. The U.S. is already in. Not declared, but deployed. Striking positions, assets. This is no longer a localized conflict. This is a regional ignition? A regional ignition. Now, where are we right now? Play by play. Let's go to phase 1. Gaza conflict explodes. Hezbollah tensions rise. Iran starts funding, arming, coordinating. Phase 2. What was it? Phase 2. Israel expands into Lebanon. Airstrikes increase across multiple fronts, like we've predicted. U.S. military assets move into region. Oil routes, especially Hormuz, become the target zone, like we predicted. Now, here's where it gets really serious. Russia is feeding Iran intelligence, not troops yet, but eyes in the sky. China is backing Iran economically, keeping them alive financially. No one declares war, but everyone is participating. This is why I'm calling it Proxy War 2.0, right? So what's forming right now? Ukraine is draining the West of assets and money and militia, munitions. Oil prices are becoming a weapon. Global supply chains are starting to shake, right? Now they're stretching the American empire, right? And what should we pay attention to right now? What should we be looking at? Iran starting to hit U.S. strikes directly. I think that would be the trigger moment. That's when this goes from proxy to direct war, in my opinion. So where do we stand today? Simple. Someone asked me that. No ceasefire, no de-escalation. More countries quietly getting involved. Markets are watching oil like a hawk. We are in one of the miscalculation away. We go back to bigger war. Don't forget to watch our Beware video that we made in 2023, where we predicted this to perfection, piece by piece. Because nothing is official, but everything is already happening. No one's declaring war because they're already fighting one. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken. People are asking for...
Yeah. All right. IRGC strikes U.S. Israeli military industrial sites in wave 98 of Operation True Promise 4. And the Islamic Revolution Guard Corps has launched 98th wave of the decisive Operation True Promise 4 targeting command, operational, and logistic centers, as well as military industrial infrastructure used by the United States and the Israel in the region. So, 98th wave. And mining companies are making a killing right now with their tungsten, their silver, their everything. Everything. Cobalt, copper, gold, lithium, palladium, like potash, everything. Everything's going up. And again, they all take you to war, right? And global energy crisis hits Africa. Like, this is an embarrassment because Africa has gold. It has everything. Gold, fuel, natural gas in Mozambique, good sweet oil in Angola. They have everything there. And the infrastructure was put there already by the Portuguese. It's already built. So they have a lot, and it's an embarrassment that the energy crisis, and you got Libya producing all that oil. Energy crisis in Africa? It's all manufactured, people. This is complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit. And let's read some of your comments here. Who is here tonight? Someone saying $3 a liter means people will start robbing each other. Again, Canada could create jobs in the private sector by opening private-owned diesel and gas facilities, taking the oil and making our own fuel. We open, I know I say this every week. I know I've been saying this every week for the last month or 2 months. If we just took every province in Canada, every state in America, and put an oil and diesel refining plant, gas would be 20 cents a liter, 15 cents a liter. It'll be so cheap. It'll be an oversupply of fuel, and you'll create hundreds of thousands of jobs across both nations. Australia will create 30, 40,000 jobs overnight. And I don't get it. I just don't get it why everybody wants to go Thunberg green. How dare you? Bring in the Chinese money laundering. Then you can't afford to live in your own house. Bring it in. Woo! All right, let's get into what do I got for here from. I don't have much from the States here. Let's go. All right, let's go into the United States, and the national debt is 4 times greater than what is officially reported. Again, it goes into it's about 170 trillion if you actually get Social Security, federal liabilities, and we've covered this on Mike of the Night quite a few times. The debt's reported at 39 trillion is going to break 40 trillion, and liabilities at 170 trillion. And future Social Security obligations, 54 trillion. Medicare adds another 74.5 trillion. Federal assets, about 6.1 trillion. And again, it's going to collapse. The American empire is literally folding right now as we speak. And making illegals great again. How much California spends on illegal aliens with Gruesome Newsom. So Gruesome Newsom, California is home to estimated 2.5 million illegal aliens, sanctuary state, and they covers their expenses, healthcare, all kinds of stuff. So what it is? The state is spending 9.5 billion, including 8.4 billion from the general fund alone. This represents 25% of all general fund spending and medical, according to the California State Republican Caucus. The overage was driven by higher than anticipated enrollment, with the state spending 2.7 billion more than budgeted on the immigration population alone. So I spoke to someone that was an illegal alien in the United States. He called me on last Wednesday, and he told me that he went to the United States, became an illegal alien from Canada, went to California sanctuary, and they forcibly deported him back to Canada. It's only for select people that are going down there, because that guy gets in, he get a good job somewhere, set up his life. They don't want that. They deported his ass back. They literally forced him back to Canada, or they're going to take legal action, and they're going to take away. He told me they're going to do a way where they're going to basically track his life down for the rest of his life if he doesn't go back to Canada. So now he's barred from the U.S. for 5 years now, according to what is written in his passport. So he can't visit the U.S. for 5 years now, right? Yeah. So, yeah. And this is an important one, guys, very important one, that the U.S. and the European Union will negotiate biometric data sharing. So they're going to start sharing your biometric data. And a European whose fingerprint ends up in the U.S. enforcement database by mistake would have to fix it through American courts. So this is really weird what's going on here. And Washington wants to run European fingerprints through the American database, and the EU is considering it. The Department of Homeland Security and the European Union are in formal negotiations over the arrangement that would give DHS direct query access into biometric records held by the EU member states, a level of access that Brussels has never granted to a non-EU country for border security purposes. So this is really, really weird how they're this one world connected, right? One world is nowhere to run to. And White House to submit 1.5 trillion military budget proposal amid Iran conflict. We told you this was going to cost trillions of dollars. Everyone laughed at me when I said that. I said, guys, they budgeted this war for a couple of $1 billion. That's to get you in the door. That's to sell you the war. Now they're moving into trillions. And I told you guys, oh, Mike, you don't know. This is going to be wrapped up in weeks. Weeks? We're past a month now. Again, like we keep saying, we've been saying and they took down my video too from 2012. They bankrupt you, they bankrupt your country, they bankrupt your family, and they send your kids to fight their wars. I'm saying it again. YouTube took that video down from 2012. I don't know why, but they took it down. But I'm saying it again. They bankrupt you, they bankrupt your country, and they send your kids to fight their wars. I coined that. Right here on Mike in the Nights, or on whatever I was doing back in 2012. But there it is right there. White House to submit 1.5 trillion military budget. Again, it's going to go into the trillions. And China accelerates military expansion in the South China Sea with new high-tech radar and island building campaign. Again, these fake islands they're building and this border strategic games. U.S. response. U.S. is spread out thin. The American empire spread out real thin, boy. And China's going to take advantage of that. And they're going to go into those reefs. They're going to go closer to the Philippines and go into Filipino waters, which they already are, taking over islands there to expand their reach. And yeah, we've been telling you guys for years, China's bad news, man. China's really bad. Okay, America's got this, everyone's got, but China? Watch out for China, man. Watch out. All right. Yeah, Rick saying I already boycotted all fast food. You know, with fast food, I just go up to the window at the fast food, like that, not the drive-through window. I go up and see who's working there. And then when I don't see Canadians or Filipinos working there, if I see Filipinos, I go in. If I see Canadians and Filipinos, high school kids, working there, no problem. I go in, I see non-Canadian, I just get back in my car. Bye! I haven't been I don't think I've had fast food for ages now because of that. And I look good. I feel good. I feel tough. Right? Yes. So Rusty Behemoth Hammer is saying, hey, Mike, the bank required biometric data in order to change the password to my bank account. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, someone saying I boycotted Tim Hortons because they would not let anyone in unless you had proof of the jab. We told you that shit was poison. Woo! And we were right. And that vaccinologist that came on the show in late 2020 to warn us, because I got the ingredients on the first vaccine, if you guys remember, from Dearborn, Michigan lab. I got the ingredients, and then I had that guy, that vaccinologist, come on and tell us what this is. And he kept asking me, Mike, how did you get this? How did you get this? Who gave you this? I'm like, this is what it is. But we put the message out. We were on Odyssey because we were banned on YouTube. Yeah, we were banned on YouTube. So we were on Odyssey. And then we got banned on Rumble. So we had to go back to Odyssey. And yeah. Yes, Rick Silver saying Filipinos are great. You're right. Oh yeah, my wife's from the Philippines. The The best thing I ever did was marry a Filipino woman. The best thing I ever did in my whole life. Ever. My whole life. 10 times over. Mark of the Beast says Ghostly Doors. You want to see Mark of the Beast? Watch this. Hold on. I got something here from New Zealand. Maybe I'll save that for later. Here, I got something for you guys. Here. Want to see Mark of the Beast? Watch this. Watch this.
So people are fleeing to Mexico. They're fleeing to Mexico to escape government tyranny and corruption and taxation and food prices. So they're going down to Mexico. Well, mark this down. July 1st, 2026. Burn it into your calendar. Because you know what Mexico is saying? Mexico is telling 130 million mobile users, register your phone or it goes dark. Now they say it's voluntary. Yeah, voluntary. Like pay your taxes or go to jail. So let's rewind back to 2008 with the Renout. The Renouts in 2008, okay? They collected phone data in Mexico. What happened? Massive data leak sold on the black markets. 2022, Panout. Remember that? They tried it again, this time with barometrics, fingerprints, facial scans. And what did the Mexican Supreme Court say? Unconstitutional. Too evasive, too dangerous. It's like having a criminal record, or they're building you a criminal record for having a phone. So let's fast forward to January 9th, 2026. New law passes, right? Every SIM, prepaid, postpaid eSIM, must be tied to an identity. Now here comes the upgrade. The CURP Barometrica in Mexico, the barometric. Not just your name, not just your number, your face, your iris, your 10 fingerprints, your digital signature. You don't just have an ID anymore. You become the ID. And here's the kicker. This data doesn't just sit in a vault sitting around. It actually connects to law enforcement, intelligence agencies, national card database. It's a criminal record they're building on you. They don't even have to tell you when they can access it. No notification, no oversight, no transparency. And they'll tell you it's for missing persons. That's what they're saying right now. It's for missing persons. Bullshit. But history tells us a different story. Every time government says this is for your safety, it becomes about control. Run to the hills when they say that. Anonymous SIM cards? Gone. Journalists? Tracked. Activists? Flagged. Regular people? Log, tagged, and searchable in real time. That's what this whole transparency thing is for in Mexico. This is attempt number 3 now. And every time it comes back bigger, broader, more evasive. The big mothership's coming now for track you. Right? This isn't about Mexico. This is the blueprint. The digital ID we've been warning you guys about. The barometric tracking. And once it's built, it doesn't go away. You got to watch the pattern because it starts there in Mexico. And then it's going to start spreading everywhere. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken. So people...
All right. Thanks, Tio, for the coffee. Tio just sent me a coffee. Thanks, Tio. I got my 2 coffees for tonight. Thanks, guys, for buying your boy a coffee here on Mike in the Night. All right, let's get our caller in. Let's see if she's there. We had her on last week, but we got to get her on again because there's a huge nationwide protest. I think it's all over Canada. I don't know if it's in the States, so we'll find out from her there tonight if it's in the States too. So hopefully she's even watching the show and knows that we are. Just message her. Are you there? Hello? Hello? All right. Digital IDs coming fast. Digital currencies coming in fast. And Mike in the Night. I got that song in my head from the beginning of the show. Okay, guys, people are asking me for Mike in the Night music. A lot of people are emailing me the same thing. So I'm just going to show you where it is. So you go to my channel. Go to my channel. Go to the channel, folks, because people are asking. Also, the 7K Filipino house. There's the house we built in the Philippines with all the adventures that we had in the Philippines. If you guys want to watch the house we bought for $7,000. Our conspiracy vaults over here. And then we have our Mike in the Night streams are up here, usually at the top, right there. Mike in the Night's right there. But if you guys want Where'd it go? You go to shorts. No, you go to playlists. Sorry, guys. First playlist, Mike in the Night music. I get people messaging me all the time for those songs that I play on Mike in the Night. It's right here on the channel under playlists if you guys want to check it out. And that's that right there. Woo! So, gonna look up... All right. Mr. IMC's in the house. What? I haven't seen you in a while. Well, I see you from time to time. Hope you're doing well, buddy. I think we got a panhandler here. Not many of us have money. Paper will be worthless. Okay. Yeah, Elias boy is calling me a panhandler, but you sound like a fucking bum. I need coffee. I need coffee. Work for a living, buddy. Yeah, I work very hard for a living. You fucking piece of shit. I fucking work real hard. I make $700 a year being here on fucking social media. And you're fucking calling me a fucking panhandler? You fucking piece of shit. You go after that fucking piece of shit Joe Rogan that gets $1.8 million per episode stealing shit from people like us. Stealing all our fucking talking pieces. All our fucking discussions. You fucking go after Joe Rogan. You want to call me a fucking panhandler? You fucking piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. Fucking motherfucker. All right, let's get our caller in. Mike of the Night.
It's 3 a.m. in a one-stop town. Neon buzz and the world shut down. Coffee's cold, but the mic's still warm. There's a storm outside and another reform. Headlights roll down Highway 8. Folks still talking about the state of the state. Bills go up, paychecks thin. Feels like a house always wins. But there's a voice on the air tonight, cutting through that pale moonlight. Mike in the Night, on the AM line. Truth coming through like a county sign. You can run, you can hide, you can close your eyes, but you feel that moving deep inside. At 3 a.m. when the silence is broken, old guitar and the truth outspoken. No teleprompter, no token, just a man saying I have spoken. Small town farmers, city trees, trying to read through the masquerades. Paper headlines, polished lies, but you can see it in the people.
Hello?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing very good. All right, let me put you on full screen here. Okay, so we got Moms Resist head leader here on the show on Mike of the Night. Thanks for coming on. Again, you were on last week, but we got several events coming up. So Moms Resist on Instagram, guys. Can you please follow it? And go ahead and tell us what's happening with the upcoming events on the... There's one on the 11th. They're all on the 11th, right?
They're all on the 11th, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So April 11th is the North America-wide Save Our Children March. Right now, there's over 100 cities that are participating in this. This was after the release of the Epstein files. So people across North America have been involved in this. They're leading in their own states, cities, provinces, wherever they are. And this is a nationwide event to save our children, to end child trafficking and child exploitation. Right now in Canada, we have about 10 cities. So, and then a few provinces. So BC, Manitoba, Quebec, Ontario, and New Brunswick.
Anything happening stateside?
In the US.
Yes.
So in the US, there's like uh, many states involved, many. I don't have the exact figures, but if you go to on Instagram, Save Our Children Updates,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see all the locations across the US. I mean, California, New York, Washington,
Okay.
Nebraska, like there's tons.
Yeah, this is very important that we promote this very hard here on Mike of the Night to make sure, because this is basically what our whole point of the show is to create awareness for people, all ages, all families. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm gonna see. I just want to see if I can open this one. We got the one in French here that you sent me.
Yeah, so that's Sherbrooke, Quebec. They just joined a few days ago. But if you go to momsresist.ca, which is our website,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see all of the locations on there.
What is it, Moms?
Momsresist.ca.
Okay, I have it open already. I have that. I've already opened that. Here, let me just open it again.
Having a difficult time accessing the website. So if you Google it first, and so just Google Moms Resist as one word, and then click on that, you'll be directed.
There it is right here. Momsresist.ca, guys. I'm going to put it in the live chat if you guys want to... there it is right there. If you guys want to check it out, please go ahead and bookmark that and send this out. Put this on your Facebooks, guys, Instagrams. Facebook is wide open now. So your Facebook will, once you share something on Facebook, it actually gets out there. So if you guys want to share this on your Facebook and Instagram, it will get out there.
Oh, God bless you, Mike. Thank you. Thank you to...
Well, no, thank you for doing this, right? I'm just relaying the message, right? So I'm just here to relay the message, right? I like trolls in the comments. I like playing with the trolls in the comments here. That's why I'm here. But yes, no. This is very important. And anything else we need to know? Anything else people need to know about this?
We need to start educating people and creating awareness, okay? Because the problem surrounding the situation when it comes to child trafficking is that people don't think it exists. It's almost a conspiracy theory, right? Mm-hmm. But we know now with the recent release of the Epstein files that the truth is undeniable. But some people are just, the truth is really hard for people to receive. But there's those that are just sitting in, on the fence right now. And those are the people that we have to reach. And we have to just provide information that this is real, this is occurring, and this is not just a domestic issue. This is global, and it is so big and so greater than you all are aware of. And I wish I could just sit here for hours to talk to you about what we know. But it's just, we can't topple it from the top. We have to start at the bottom. And believe it or not, the bottom is just creating awareness and educating people. It's kind of just like what we did through COVID, Mike.
Yeah.
And now it took a good few years for people to be in this place where they are now, aware that they were misled and lied to.
We predicted that we're going to pull the trigger on the pandemic and force everyone on a vaccine in 2017. The video's up. The video's up. You can watch it. And we were telling people they're going to shut this down. And nobody listened to us. And we said, look. And then we had a vaccinologist on the show. In 2018, I made my very famous video that got taken down 3 times. My very famous live stream. And in 2018, I made a video saying they're going to infuse mRNA into all our vaccines by 2020.
Wow.
Yep. And it's all up there. Everything's there. And it's happened exactly like we said, step by step. The energy wars. So we're going through energy wars right now. We're going through child trafficking wars. We're going through all kinds of shit, right? So child trafficking wars, energy wars. Next is going to be the food wars that we predicted 15 years ago are going to come. After the food wars, people were laughing at me when I told them by 2020 people are going to be bought out of food. Once the price of food catches up with the housing and energy catches up with housing, you're finished. You won't be able. They can't hide the inflation. So, food wars, and you know what's after the food wars? Water wars. Now, people are watching this and saying, we have so much water in Canada. You know how contaminated our pipes are? How contaminated and old our infrastructure is? It's all poison. Watch. Faz conta que não diz nada. So, anyways, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because I actually, my ex-partner worked for a construction company called New Alliance. He passed away, so the company's not open anymore. But he did water mains and pipes, and he would show me pictures of how corroded the water pipes are underground, and what's being like how it's being contaminated. They go in and they try to replace them, but to replace everything, it's like you can't. Well, you can, but yeah. So much. There's so much, Mike. Thank you for exposing everything that you do. And I want to leave people with a sense of hope, though, because a lot of what we speak about is really dark. And that is that there is people who really know the truth, and they haven't come to light yet, but they're waiting for humanity to because there's so many people that are not ready yet to receive this information of the truth about what is actually being done to children. And I'm talking underground tunnels, and it's so dark.
Yep. Especially, remember that major, we covered that one in New York New York City, sorry. The big tunnel. Did you see that big tunnel where they were trafficking kids through in New York City? Through this
they're everywhere. So what you have to know is that once enough of humanity is awake to it, then it's not a matter of when, it's if. I mean, it's not a matter of if, it's when. It is happening. It's just when there's enough of us to receive it. So your mission right now on a collective humanity is to expose this. Because you will progress this. Yes.
Well, we have to. It has to. And you know what I'm noticing too, and I've been over the years trying to figure out why aren't they seeing this? Why are they blind to this? Are they effed in the head? What's going on? I noticed it's a lot of people that actually work for the government that are scared to lose their jobs. And if they don't agree with having a third bathroom or a fourth bathroom for 13 genders, if they don't agree for certain things, and every hoax matters, all this bullshit they're doing against the Christians and all this stuff, and if you bring up in a government job situation, you bring up Jesus or God, they look at you kind of like you're crazy type of thing. So I believe a lot of people are blind to things purposefully because they don't want to lose their 6-figure government job that they have.
Because you're absolutely right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Well, look at what we saw this during COVID, Mike.
Yeah.
There were very few that were willing to risk it all, risk their jobs. Look at the doctors. That spoke out. Look at what they did to them. You know, the nurses that spoke out. Look at the small business owners that spoke out and stayed open and defied their mandates and their lockdowns and their narratives. Look at what happened to them. So of course everyone was like, oh, I just want to keep my job. That's why they took the vaccine, to keep their job. Majority of some took it to travel, some.
But it's not just the vaccine. They had to agree with 14 bathrooms. They had to agree with putting women's tampons in men's bathrooms. They had to agree with all that bullshit.
Absolutely. But look at what comes with speaking out. You know, and look at the attack on those who are speaking out. So, for example, Lisa Robinson, city councilor for Durham Region, she has gone 21 months without pay for speaking about universal bathrooms. Now, what she suggested was that there was a biological bathroom for male and female and a universal bathroom. So choice, just choice. And because of that, She's gone 21 months without pay.
Yep. And if you 50 years ago or 100 years ago, you actually brought up or proposed a universal bathroom, they'd put you in a mental facility, right? So it's yeah, the sanity needs to come back. You know why? Because governments are losing their grip. Cities are going broke. No one has money. It's fallen apart fast.
Oh yeah.
And they'll do whatever they can to maintain that. I can have a neighbor call me out or do something or get me in and put me in prison just to save his job if he has to. Like, that's how bad it's gonna get, right? So.
Oh yeah, and I have to say this: we, as taxpayers, are funding the most corrupt people. We are funding wars. We are funding child trafficking. We are funding money laundering. We are funding bombs being dropped on babies.
Yep.
You need to recognize this. And once people start to become awake to all of this and how deeply corrupted our government and our institutions and all these places that we trusted, you know, you will then realize that you, not knowingly but ignorantly, are actually funding this.
And again, it started with the wealthy coming in when the Chinese were bringing in trillions of dollars into Canada and the bidding wars. Yeah, let's bid up a house that's worth 200 grand, but we're gonna bid it up to $2 million, and you could buy the same damn house in Florida for 80 grand. But let's make Canadians fight for it. Let them build with the Chinese. The Chinese laundered $2.4 to $2.6 trillion through this country. You know what's going to happen? Vacant homes are going to be the next thing on the... Vacant homes are going to be saying, why do we have 3.9 million empty homes across Canada?
I am a realtor, Mike. I'm not sure if you know that. I've been a realtor for 13 years. And being done to my clients is just, it's sick.
Yeah.
It's sick.
They're competing with artificial shortages and bidding wars, right?
Well, so we built extensively. We built a lot.
We're oversupplied. We're very oversupplied. Every person in Canada could have 4 units.
Yeah, we were letting in so many immigrants, but that stopped. And then we also stopped foreign buyers from buying.
No, so what happened was the foreign investors came in, bought us out. We couldn't compete. When I was in Vancouver, a $200,000 house went overbid by 1.6 million. Okay, so a piece of garbage house you could buy in Florida for 80 grand. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Then they put the foreign buyers tax on, and the tsunami, like we made a prediction video in 2015, the tsunami is going to go all the way to Halifax, Ontario, everywhere. And they blew up all that with money laundering. And the other ones went to Seattle and Tacoma and Washington and destroyed Seattle overnight. A $240,000 house went to $800,000 within 3 months in Seattle because the Chinese money. So they brought in the dirty money, destroyed us. And then in 2020, they decided to bring in 4 million people from India to make up, to buy the houses, because the Canadian proper can't buy their own houses. So bring in 4 million people from India, put 40 people to a house, and then we'll sell homes. But that's what they did, and that backfired because a lot of the people that came from India they're underqualified to do anything. So then they got the government subsidized wages. Woo! With our tax dollars. So even in my own town, my 2 stoplight town, people come into my store, drop off a resume. I'm like, go work somewhere else. Go work Oh, I can't. They're not hiring white people. That's what they tell me to my face. They're not hiring white people.
It's very bad. It's terrible. So I will let you know that in 2021, we had record number of sales in real estate. Okay.
Yeah, that was the big melt up.
That was when interest rates were at an all-time low. This year is a very tough year for Canadians because of that. People typically get a 5-year fixed mortgage, right? So we have record number of mortgages being renewed in Canadian history. 65% of those renewals are happening this year. Back in 2021, the interest rate was 2% or less, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 4, give or take. So it's doubled. How are Canadians going to be able to afford that with the job loss, the inflation, the price of gas, the cost of living, the cost of food? I am seeing people lose everything they've worked so hard for.
Yep.
And it's devastating. I'm talking elderly that have worked their whole life, paid taxes. They made the wrong choice by buying a pre-construction condo. That was when they closed on it, because what these developers did was they back in 2020, 2021, they sold these condos for a projected value of what, where they saw the trajectory going,
Right.
the way we were going. But that didn't happen. We went the other way. So now this 800,000 2-bedroom condo
Mm-hmm.
is worth 600,000.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So that 200,000 shortfall, like the bank will only give you the money, loan you the money based on the appraised value in today's market.
Mm-hmm. I got
People
some
are
good.
with this shortfall. That who has that kind of money?
Right, but I got I have a surprise for you here. Are you ready for this? All right,
Sure.
you can watch this on replay. So here is our videos on discussing what you are talking about years before it happened. Toronto is dying. 1 bedroom in Toronto costs $2,500 a month. Tax hikes ahead, energy hikes 3 years ago. Rate hikes in Ontario, Canada set to skyrocket. More mass exodus ahead as rate hikes, food shortages 3 years ago. Hold on. Don't buy any real estate in Toronto. You will be sorry when the raise rates. 6 years ago, we were awarding Toronto taxed to death, turning the city into an empty shell. Watch when rents go up. Toronto in serious trouble. Mass condo sell-offs by 2025 as youth mass exodus of the city of Toronto 7 years ago. So you can watch that later on replay.
I will.
I was already warning people about this because what you're talking about, they had the low rates, they signed up, and then after when they have to renew the mortgage in 4 or 5 years, this is not in America. It's not America. You could get a 6-year and 8-year rate, an 8-year term. Okay, you could get an 11 or 15-year term, and you own your house in 15 years, and the rates never change. You don't have to renew. In Canada, they do it purposefully so you never pay it off because then. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me, Mike. And thank you for trying to protect Canadians and warn humanity. Yeah. And we know Agenda 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. So that's on its way.
If you got time, watch my Agenda 2020 from 2017 live stream.
I will.
Nobody was talking about this back then. Nobody was talking about this. I was talking about Agenda 2020 is coming. All this stuff is coming. They're gonna lock things down, and nobody was talking about Agenda 2020. Nobody cared about Agenda 2020 because it was just something just world meeting, right? But then it started to develop in Agenda 2025, and now they're Agenda 30, and then it's now becoming something. Now it's becoming something for real. So, anyways.
If you can share that with me, Mike, on Instagram, I would love to watch that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll find it later and I'll send it to you so you can watch it. Okay.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And again, if everyone can just go to our website, momsresist.ca, sign the petition, make sex offender registry public, and show up on April 11th wherever you are. All the locations are on the website.
All right. Thank you so much. God bless you. Happy Easter.
God bless you. Happy Easter.
All right.
Mike.
Bye-bye. All right. Moms Resist. There's the website there. Again, for you guys, Mom Resist Canada. Please bookmark this, please. I'm starting to stutter here. Please bookmark this, guys, if you don't mind. And, yeah, there it is. No more stolen childhoods. All right. It is Mike in the Night, April 6, 2026, episode 645. We've been doing this. Good $200-300 a year doing this. And somebody calling me a panhandler in the comments. Yeah, Yep. All right. So, Tio, thanks for the coffee, and we got our boy there. Thanks for the coffee. Thanks, guys. This is what funds this. Well, it doesn't really fund it. It's coffee, right? And yeah. Imagine someone saying I should be the Prime Minister of Canada. Unfortunately, I can't because I do not speak French. I do not speak French. Someone's asking if I have been able to score boxes of the... No, they don't sell me Pokemon. They haven't sold me Pokemon in years. Yeah, it is a jungle out there. Yeah. And what's kind of funny is we got... Let's go over to the... I'm going over to the YouTube side. We got 98 people watching with 100 and... What is it? 112,000? 100,000 subscribers. And we got 100 people watching. Woo! Shadow ban mode! And it's been like this for years for us. But yeah, it'd be interesting if I was allowed to become Prime Minister of this country. Oh boy. It'd be very interesting if I was allowed to become Prime Minister of this country. I'd fly into the States. Hey, how you doing? What are we doing here? What is the recourse? What's the pitfalls? What's this going to cost taxpayers? Going over stuff, figuring things out, just working as best as I can to shape things in a way where it makes sense for all parties. Then I fly into Mexico. Hola, buenas tardes, felicidades. Mira, yo soy Mike, yo soy el gobierno primero ministro de Canadá. Estoy aquí para hablar con tu gente, para hacer unos acordes, para hacer cambios, para trabajar juntos con cambios que vale la pena y para juntar los dos países para hacer una manera prácticamente para hacer plata. So I'd go in, I'd just speak Mexican when I'm in Mexico. I lived in Mexico for 2 years. I'd go into Mexico and speak Mexican and speak to the people. And like, that's the Canadian Prime Minister. Wow, he speaks Mexican? And then I take my ass down to Brazil. Oi, boa tarde. Eu acho que toda a gente tá tudo bem aqui com vocês. A gente agora vai falar em negócios. A gente vamos concentrar e focar em essa situação que a gente estamos aqui. And then boom, I speak Portuguese and boom, and then just like boom, I go to Chile, I speak Spanish. Boom, I go to Argentina. Buenas tardes, mira, felicidades a todos. And then boom, and they'll be like, wow, Canada's Prime Minister. Who is this guy, right? But I don't speak French. So to be Prime Minister of Canada, you need to speak French. Yep. Mike, if you were Prime Minister, you get JFK'd in 15 minutes. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Mark Carney, king of money laundering, fentanyl. Yeah, we told you guys. Mark Carney's coming. Watch out. Someone asked, have you ever worked physical labor job? I'm just curious. And had low blood sugar at work through it. I wasn't too much of a physical labor. I used to specialize in automatic transmission overhaul. I used to rebuild automatic transmissions from scratch. I don't touch the car. I don't look at the car. The transmission comes to me. I take it apart, pull out the torque converter, the pump, the planetaries, the clutch sets, the servos, accumulators. Take the whole transmission apart into 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 parts, whatever parts are in there. And then find out why it failed, wash everything, get an overhaul kit. But that's what I did. That was kind of my hard labor, and was rebuilding transmissions. So... You could learn French for sure if you wanted. I just don't understand it. I hear it. I just... ¿Qué está diciendo este gente aquí? It could be because I speak Mexican Spanish. That could be the problem, right? Because when I went to Portugal, there was some people from Spain, and I was talking to them, and they looked at me. They're like, "Are you Mexican?" I'm like, "No, I'm a Portuguese. I'm a Portuguese citizen." Like, oh, you sound like a Mexican when you talk. So, FSP channel does a transmission rebuilds. That's cool. Mark Carney is Mr. Burns. Excellent. Okay. All right, let's get another caller. Okay, who wants to call in to Mike in the Night? Let's get a caller into Mike in the Night. Oh, Daniel just messaged me. Artbydano.com, artbydano.net, not your typical art. Sending me photos. It's got some great artwork, guys. Go check them out. Artbydano.com, artbydano.net. I need to get Dino Bravo on the damn show. I need to get him on this damn show right now. I haven't spoken to him. I miss this guy. I even messaged him right now. I miss you, man. I miss you. Yeah, the cars could run off water. They don't want to have cars running on water. Oil companies shut that down in the 80s. You really have to be immersed in the culture to learn and retain a language. Yeah, I remember I was stranded in Mexico. Like, I wasn't in some hotel Canadian American resort. I was stranded in this town. And I don't have a choice but to speak. No one spoke anything but Spanish. Right? Right? All right, let's see who else is here tonight for Mike in the Night. Guys, thank you so much for everything tonight, being here and being part of the channel, and subscribing and liking and being part and sharing. Guys, most important thing you could do right now if you want to support this transmission, share this thing. Share it. All right, we gotta get Dino Bravo on the show. We need him on the show tonight. I haven't talked to him in a while, and he's got all kinds of stuff. He's got all kinds of stuff he talks about. And he sent me a thing here. Safest places to retire in 2026. Portugal, number 1. Ireland, number 2. Malaysia, number 3. Spain, number 4. Croatia, Italy, Greece, Montenegro, Vietnam, Costa Rica. Interesting. Yeah. We'll get Dino Bravo on Mike in the Night here. You are tuning into episode 645 of Mike in the Night. They're not hiding it anymore, people. They're not hiding it. They're not hiding it anymore. And
3 a.m. and something is moving you. You're not here by accident. This is Mike in the Night. Mike in the night, we don't sleep, we observe. Truth hits hard, yeah, it cuts like a nerve. Voice of the Commonwealth, breaking the code while the world burns down, yeah, we carry the load. Mike in the night, yeah, the signal is strong. If you're hearing this now, you've been right all along. No size, no lies, yeah, we calling it straight. Welcome to the show, it's already too late. Mike in the night. Mike in the night. Lights out cities, but the screens still glow. People feel it deep, but they don't even know. Debt stacked high, yeah, the system's cracked. Middle class gone, and it ain't coming back. We warned you years, now it's playing out live. Same old script, just to different disguise. Controlled narratives, filtered feeds. Truth gets buried while they plant new seeds. From Toronto streets to the global stage, you can feel.
Hello, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Dino Bravo here on episode 645 of Mike in the Night. Thanks for coming on, buddy. I haven't spoken to you in a while, and I'd like to catch up and find out what the heck is going on in this world, because I know you are geopolitically talented on what's going on. Go ahead.
Well, I sent you that article. It sounds like Portugal is the place to go to. I mean, I know it's part of the EU, but it seems to be the best place in the EU to live.
Yeah, I was just there. It was fine. I was just there. I went to the suburbs areas. I went to intercities. I went to big cities. I took my time around the country. I at least spent, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, but still, like, almost 3 weeks. And you know what? I really enjoyed my home country. And it's on the table for us, too, as a family, to go back to Portugal, right?
Well, the affordability of the real estate.
Oh, yeah.
You can have an unbelievable place for, decent money. The food is fresh, natural. You don't seem to gain weight when you eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When you're out there, the air, I don't know, it's really good. My buddy's from the Azores. He says it's probably cheaper to live on the mainland than even the Azores now.
Yeah, because the Azores is limited land, right? So
Yeah,
very
yeah.
limited land.
A lot of German and English people are buying out there too, he said.
Yeah, they've been buying out there for years. They buy, they stay a year or two, and they sell. They sell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty nice out there, but yeah, this world's crazy. I mean that war, Trump keeps moving the goalposts, which is amusing. The Americans are not nearly as strong as people think. They're actually very weak. They're paper champions, as I call them. But
They're stretched out.
they are, but they're. You got to remember, Iran has China and Russia in their corner as well, and they're picking off all the strategic areas around the area. They're blowing up. They're threatening to blow up Amazon, which wouldn't be a bad thing, and the chip Nvidia and Meta and all that shit. All that stuff around there, they're going to blow up, which it wouldn't be a bad thing for this world anyway.
Yeah.
Until people. That trucker convoy, I have my thoughts on that, which I'll keep to myself because I think it was a lot of bullshit. But a true trucker convoy going to a capital city of any country, you have to go there with pitchforks and knives, not little bouncy castles, right?
Yep.
So you're not going to change anything especially when they're going to go and use guns and knives on you, right?
Yeah.
So you got to fight force with force, and that's the only way you're going to change any country. Just like you saw in Nepal when they, were lashing at the political theater, the politicians, and they're fearing for their lives, right? These guys want to do a little, they want to shut your bank account down. Well, if they're fearing for their lives, they ain't going to shut anything down because they won't have access to that, right? So. Until we take over the government and get rid of government, we will not change any country,
The government's job, and we talked about this, Dino, a billion times in the show. The government's job is simple: make sure the potholes are fixed, make sure the bridges don't tip over, and make sure our hospitals are open. And then go fuck yourself. We don't need you for anything else.
Yeah, but they're not even doing that now.
Yeah, they're funding money towards it. Like that.
Well, look. I mean, I don't know about the pothole. Like where I am, it's harder to avoid a pothole than to hit one.
Yeah.
So, it's disgusting. They're not even using our tax dollars to fix the infrastructure anymore.
Well,
they're taking everything.
That's
they're
why
taking all our dollars. Like look at that Artemis or whatever that bullshit thing with NASA.
Yeah.
That's just another form of money laundering. They're just taking money.
Yep.
Like it's all bullshit. They haven't even touched the moon. They can't get past the firmament, for fuck's sake. Excuse my French.
Yeah, it's
but
okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. That's right. We're 21. That's right. We're 21. Like this is nonsense. Like people wake up. There's no lunar landing. The thing was made out of paper mache in 1969, when they first said they came there.
Not Fangulo.
Like, give it up, man. Yeah, well, Fangulo is right. This is all nonsense, all garbage. Wake up, people. The sooner we wake up and stop paying it, like, don't pay your taxes. If you get a refund, great, but don't pay taxes. Fuck them. That's what's funding all our. That's putting us in jail in a sense, right? By all the tax dollars they're taking from us, they're putting us in jail.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting ourselves in jail. This 50-minute series, bullshit. We don't need that stuff. Just say no. We're not doing that. Like if
But Dino, they don't need 15-minute cities, brother, because if you can't afford to buy fuel at $3-4 a liter, you're not going nowhere.
No, I get that. But for $3-4 fuel, you can get to your local legislative building with pitchforks and knives.
No, it's pitchforks and torches. Pitchforks and torches.
Or whatever. Whatever. Just bring heat, right? And
but do you
go down there and straighten them out. That's the only way it's going to change. Everybody sits on their hands, does nothing.
Do you see tonight's show is called "They're Not Hiding It Anymore," Dino?
No, they're not. So why should we?
So
there's way more of us than them. I always hear that, and everybody just afraid, and they just complain about the food prices, complain about the gas prices, complain about the roads, complain about. Well, why don't we do something about it then?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
again, government's job is to maintain, make sure hospitals stay open, make sure potholes are fixed, bridges don't fall over. That's it. Stop allocating money to different shit, sending money overseas, heavily audits. Everything needs to be heavily audited where the fucking money's going. Politician walks right the fuck in with student loan debt and fucking walks out with $170 billion in their fucking bank accounts. That's all bullshit, dude.
Yeah, I agree. And all these migrants coming in, taking all the jobs. Our young people are going to be the I think we've talked about this. You said it too. The 18 to 25-year-olds are going to change this world.
Yep.
It's not. They have no future. What are they
have
going
nothing to lose.
They got nothing. What do you got to lose? Or you're going to get shot. You're going to get killed. Really? Well, they want to conscript me and bring me to a war that I'm going to get taken apart. Like those, like the soldiers, like the body counts of the American. Like I watch other news and I talk to people that are actually in those places or around, and they're saying there's like over 3,000 American soldiers that have been killed, and they're keeping their bodies. They're flying them to Germany and they're storing them there until the time's right. And all they're going to do is they tried a ground invasion. They got slaughtered. And if they keep trying, if they try it again, they're going to get slaughtered. They can't get in there.
What do we keep saying on the channel, Dino? What do we keep saying? Iran is not Iraq. We've been saying that for years. Iran is not Iraq.
No, and they're ready to fight, and they'll die for this cause. So, I got news for America. You ain't gonna win this war. You better get the hell out. And they've also did serious damage on the USS Ford carrier and the other one. They've done serious damage, but they don't show it because Israel said we're going to protect those news reports. We don't want to show what's really going on. They say that parts of Israel looks like Beirut.
Yep.
And their missiles, the Iranian missiles, are going through the ground, and they're going right into the bomb shelters deep down.
They're on the 94th wave today of missiles. 94th wave of missiles today in Iran. We just read the article.
Iran is just starting to use. They got rid of all their old missiles.
Yeah.
They've sitting with these missiles for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's old technology. They have Mach 15 missiles, they say.
Yeah, I believe it.
Okay.
I believe it.
Americans haven't even seen this stuff. They better get the hell out. Trumpy better run with his tail between his legs and go back. And then they're going to do a false flag somewhere in the United States and blame it on Iran. And then they come back and they'll try to get Europe involved in the rest of the world against them, right?
Well, they're going to have to fuck something up. And that's why we keep saying, Dino, what do we keep saying here? Don't take what?
Sides.
Don't fucking take sides. This is all fucking orchestrated bullshit.
it's all political theater, all of
Yep.
it. Yes, I agree. I agree. It's all made up bullshit. They it's like the game of board games, the game of Risk.
Hmm.
You just they just have this play this board game. Okay, we're gonna do this. You could take over here. We're gonna. It's just a chessboard.
Hmm.
It's nonsense. It's all bullshit. That's why we gotta take back our countries. Every person in every country group up and get together. I look what the Irish are doing. They're kicking ass out there.
Yeah.
England is starting to really get bubbling there too. With the younger guys are starting to get pissed off there. France is is crazy.
Yeah, but the
Um,
bullshit is when this migration started happening, we were reporting it like in 20, I was making videos in 2013, 2014, 2015 about this, how the migrant invasion was happening in England at the time, right? And then Tommy
yeah,
Robinson was voicing his opinion on what was going on. And just forget all that and take 3 steps back, Dino, 3 steps back, and ask this one simple question. Why is England in need of Muslim immigrants? Just take 3 steps back and ask that. Why are they in need of these people to come in the first place? For what? They don't produce anything. They don't fix nothing. They don't expand anything. They don't do anything. So that the one question no one was ever asking was, why is Canada in need of bringing in? Why is Canada needed your father, my father, to come in and build this fucking country? That's what they needed us for, right? But
right.
why is Canada in need of bringing in 4 million people from, we know why they brought in 4 million people from India, to try and fix the housing market because the Canadians couldn't get into it. But going back to 20...
no, I have to interrupt you. It's not at all for that. It was designed.
Mhm.
They bring all these populations to all these different countries. It's a plan. It's a plan. They bring the riffraff of these countries into these other countries. They let them in, and to destroy every country from within.
Well, they could have
That's
did
what
that
they're
with the
done.
Muslims. They didn't have to bring in the Indians because the Muslims are already coming in for over a decade now, right?
Whatever. I'm just saying, there's a plan. I forget that Ed has mentioned it.
Kalergi plan,
There is
yeah. Eduardo brought
Caligari
that up.
plan. Yes, that's 100%. That's what it is. It's designed to destroy every country from within, and that's it. Period. Real estate, fuck the real estate, all that shit. That's all nonsense. The plan is to destroy the country from within. They just put in the law, the laws for penalties for whites in Canada are more harsh than for colored
Oh
people.
yeah, you rape
That
somebody, you're this. You get a couple of hours in jail and a sandwich and $65, and they let you out, right?
Yeah, but if you and I do that, we're gonna get 65 years and
Yeah,
a sandwich,
that's how it works.
or
So
maybe a half-eaten sandwich. Yeah.
yeah,
So that's the difference. So this is the problem, and the countries are starting to people are starting to figure it out. Like, we don't want you here. We don't
hmm
want you here. Get out. And that now that the people identified that, now they go to the politicians and say, get them out or you're out. Take
yeah,
your pick. Let's go.
yeah,
Get them out.
get them out.
Portugal's figuring it out. The Italians are starting to figure it out. The Spanish are starting to somewhat figure it out. Like, they're starting to figure it out all over. And the Irish, they're trying to they got to get rid of them. They got to send them back. And until that happens, every country is going to be in trouble. Because if we get rid of this riffraff, then our kids can work again.
Yeah,
What future do our kids have in
yep.
Canada?
Do a serious audit in Canada, like a financial audit of all the money that was brought in from China. Dino, you'd see properties, millions of properties jump on the market the next day because of we're sitting on 3.9 million empty units right now owned by Chinese investors. I don't even know about the farmland. I'm still inquiring about the farmland, Dino.
Yeah,
No one's
be careful on that. Be careful on that. You're touching some sensitive ground there, right? If you've been warned, right? So just be careful with that.
yeah.
We don't need you getting hurt over it, okay?
Yeah,
Just
no, I
saying.
understand. But the farmland, the China owns a lot of farmland that borders the US. A lot of
Yes,
farmland.
yes. I
So
actually have a friend
if we
that
could
has land.
if we could audit and
Yeah.
say no more communism, communism out. So let's go back to 2010. We don't have to go before 2010 to 2024 March when the money laundering ended. Take those years and do a financial audit and find out who the fuck bought these houses and why. And they'll find, Dino, like I discovered when I was living in Vancouver. I discovered something. There was one house that sold 104 times in 1 year. One house.
Hmm.
And they
I
kept
remember you
bidding
saying
it
that.
between the two corporations owned by the one Chinaman. One Chinaman owned two numbered companies. And between the two numbered companies, he was bidding between the two companies, and he sold the bill. He sold that house 100 plus times in 1 year. I made a video, I exposed it, and then the Chinaman got someone to call me and threaten me and my family. I called the RCMP, and the RCMP says take down the video. He's allowed to launder money through Canada. So,
Oh, wonderful.
yeah.
The only way we're gonna, like I said, like first of all, you know me and my political stance. All of it's shit. It's all nonsense. It's all garbage. You agree with that? I know you do. The people have to self-govern. Okay, we have to get rid of all government. The way we we can fix Canada overnight. You get rid of the government. You punt them out. You put in a committee of people that oversee it. Business people. I want business people, business minds. Forget these fake accountants like Carney. And then you get guys like that to oversee the country. And then you basically, like you said, do an audit, find out where all these Chinese people and all that, and basically take over their houses. Just expel them, get them out. You're out. We own the house. We've taken over the house.
Yep.
What are you gonna do about it? Right?
Yeah.
Take over all the houses. Take all that revenue. Then you can you got it for free, so you can sell it to Joe Blow for 300 grand instead of 3.3 million, right?
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Sell the houses and give the people back the houses, and you'll build a super strong economy because we do have all the resources. Canada's one of the richest countries in the world with resources, and punt them all out. China owns that mine. No, they don't. It's Canada. You're out. See you later. Bye. Get them out. Throw them all out. You don't think the United States, they're huge. They got huge debt to China and to other nations. You know what they're going to do? They're going to say, La Fangulo, you're out. We're taking it over. We're not paying you anything. You know this debt? Here it is. Here's a piece of paper. They're going to rip it in front of them and say, this is our debt. We don't owe you anything anymore. What are you going to do about it?
Well, there's one thing that hasn't been brought up in a while, and it's about the Canadian brain drain. And once a year we make a Canadian brain drain update video, letting people know, like, or even Australian brain drain, where are the people going when they leave. So right now, the brain drain in Canada, doctors, like specialists, like Canadian doctors. I'm not talking about some guy that comes from Punjab. He's a doctor and he doesn't, he comes to Canada. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about Canadian doctors, educated Canadian doctors. They're all going stateside. We saw an uptick of 44% of doctors and medical professionals are just moving to America. They said, fuck it. I'm a doctor. I can fix myself. I know what's wrong if something goes wrong. I'm going to go down to the States and work. And then they're recruiting doctors down in Florida, Canadian doctors down in Florida, Alabama, Texas, Georgia. They're moving down there. They're buying a house for $140,000 with a pool, and they're living their lives. And it's up, 44% in the last year alone. 44% now. Professionals, proper Canadian people are just leaving. They're done.
Yeah, I believe that. A lot of big business owners are leaving the country as well.
Yeah.
Moving their head offices to other countries as well.
Yeah.
Right. So and then that takes jobs with it.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, we're in a lot of hurt. Like I said, the only way we got that meathead in Ottawa. That's he's all pro-Chinese. We have to get rid of. You have to get rid of these guys. Get them out, and have Canadian first, not China first. And India first. We don't need those guys.
Nope.
We need Canada first.
Yep. Canada needs to be first. Canadian proper. And I'm not even considered Canadian proper. I'm a Portuguese citizen living in Canada, right? My parents came like your parents.
You've done a lot more for Canada with your show than a lot of Canadians, Mike. So I consider you a Canadian. I know you're saying you're proud Portuguese, and I love that you are proud of your Portuguese heritage. I'm proud of my Italian heritage as well. So that's the important thing. We just have to be proud Canadian. Like, a lot of people. This country could be fixed, but it's not going to be fixed with bouncy castles. That's all I'm going to say. Right.
So
and that's how it goes. In the world, in history, countries are changed by force.
Yep.
Not by a pen. So.
But the problem is, we get something good going. Everything starts moving smoothly. Everybody's happy, and then boom, we get invaded because someone needs to bring us peace. There's not enough peace in this country, and they'll bring us peace. They will.
They'll bring us peace, even though we're at peace, right? Libya was doing fine. It didn't need to be taken over, and now look at it now. It's a piece of garbage, right? Look at Angola. Portuguese Africa was perfect until 1975 or 76 when the IMF went in there with Cuban soldiers and all kinds to invade and destroy the entire country. It was fine. They didn't need nobody. But again, when there's peace and harmony and everything works fine, someone's going to bring us peace, Dino. That's the problema here.
Yeah, but I think that, like I said, I don't think it's going to be. I think you mentioned it recently about a divine intervention. Something is going to happen that's going to change this world, and it's going to be very scary for our friends at the top. I really believe that. I've been saying it for years. And I really believe that. It ain't gonna be human people that are gonna do anything substantial. It's gonna be non-human that are gonna do it.
If I was Prime Minister of Canada, the first thing I do tomorrow, implement projects from oil to gas and oil to diesel plants right across Canada. Every province in Canada and every territory will get a diesel gas plant. Then what happens next? Employ 30, 40,000 people across the country, 45, 50 bucks an hour. Okay? And then from there, the fuel, guess what, will be 20, 30 cents a liter because we have so much of it. We have so much fuel to go around. We'll start exporting fuel instead of buying fuel. We'll start exporting fuel. That's the first thing I do if I was the government of this country. First thing I do is fuel refinery plants in every province. 30,000 jobs overnight. $45 to $50 private sector contracts. So we contract out to private sector companies that are going to be fair and follow the guidelines and pay minimum 45, 50, no migrants allowed. It has to be Canadian first type of thing. You know what I mean, Dino? And then that's what I do. If I was Prime Minister, first thing I do, oil refinery in every city. Instead, during the Biden administration, they closed 4 refineries in the U.S. and Canada hasn't built one since 1974. And we could really do well, job-wise, private sector-wise, if we just did that to start. Once we get fuel to 10, 20, 30 cents a liter, which we can, because we'll have such a massive oversupply. And that's what we need. And then we start exporting the fuel.
Oil is a joke. It's plentiful all over the world.
The world bleeds oil.
Tons and tons of it. The Balkan reserve in North Dakota into was it Montana, I think, and then Saskatchewan and part of Manitoba. That's one of the biggest reserves in the world. They're saying they haven't even found the limit of it. It's huge. That alone could give enough oil for the United States and Canada. That alone. Forget the fossil fuels. That's bullshit. It's not fossil fuels.
The earth bleeds oil.
Oil
buddy.
is the earth. Oil. It's the blood of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's the blood of the earth, and that's the thing. Then you hit the nail on the head too. They want to go after our water, right?
Water's in a lot of trouble, Dino. I don't care. Oh, we're in Canada. Look how much water we have. It's becoming contaminated. The way it's being transported, the way it's coming to us, it's garbage. Back in 2019 on Mike of the Night, just before they pulled the trigger on the pandemic, it was September or October. You could see it's still up on YouTube, the Mike of the Night from 2019. We were warning about a water crisis because of the contamination, the lead, the garbage in our piping system across Canada. Whatever's working across Canada to transport the water into cities and stuff is garbage, Dino.
Yep, you're right. And they transport in plastic bottles, which leaches into the water as well. Plastic. Yep. You don't need that shit. You got to go block glass. And even like reverse osmosis is very good, but that distilled water shit, that stuff takes a lot of the good minerals in the water are taken out with that process. It's actually not very good distill. I get my water from a small company that in the province. It's just take it right out of the ground. It's fresh water. It's way better than it costs more, but if you want good water, you're gonna have to pay for it. I don't drink that tap shit. No way. It's full of crap. I have a filter that I could use it for cooking because I boil the water. It's we can get rid of some of the impurities anyway. But I don't use the tap water at all. You can't drink that shit. And then the bottled water is one of the worst waters we can drink. It's very bad. Very bad.
But another solution. There's lots of solutions. We should do a Mike in the Night Solutions show again. I mean, we should do once a month talking more about solutions.
People got great ideas out there, and the show. There's a lot of intelligent people that watch your show. They got great ideas. Like that's why I wish they would call in. Like I feel bad calling all the time because there's so many other people have opinions and thoughts, and I want to hear their thoughts. You know, what do they got to say? You know, they have solutions to things too.
You know, yeah. I mean, all this, lots of this stuff is already in place, though. Like, if America wants to fix its migrant problem, just do what it did to me when I tried to live in the United States. $32,000 in the bank account, corporation to sponsor you, a place where you live in your name. Like, I had to do 23 different things to live in America. After I did all that, they told me to get lost. What is it? Background check, criminal background check, a health check. I did everything they asked me. I think it was $32,000 I have to have in the bank account in America. I have to have this. I did everything they told me, Dino. And then they just threw me out. So if the law, why I'm telling you, is because the law's already in place to protect Americans from migrants. All they have to do is just put them through what I went through, right?
Well, we also had that too before, Mike. Canada had that too. We had strict guidelines on bringing in people.
Yeah, we had that. They had to run ads. It all up. They had to run ads for me to make sure I wasn't stealing an American's job, right?
So, yeah, the Americans have always been more stringent on that than the Canadians, but there were checks that you had to balances you had to go through to get into Canada as well before. Mm-hmm. There was limited. I know people that tried to come into Canada. They were refused because they didn't have the resources to come in. Right. They didn't show what they needed to show. They were criminals, but they didn't have the assets. So
boom, turn on a dime. Pakistan comes in, stays in hotels, and then that's it. It's gone. The whole Canadian dream is dead. You start bringing in people that are not going to, pay their way through. We're dead. We're finished.
I said this. I've been saying this to people for weeks on end here now. I said, listen, you're pissing people off. If they can't work, like I talked about the young kids, they can't work. If you can't eat, you can't work, you can't travel, you got no car, you got nothing. What do you think people are going to do? They're going to rebel.
Yep.
These top end turds, as I call them, they're going to be in a lot of hurt. That's why they're building their little built underground bunkers because they know we're going to come after them. When you can't eat, like I said, when your kids can't eat, you're going to be a very angry person.
Yep. Yep.
That's it. End of story. I don't care what they say. They can say whatever they want. They can turn the 5G on, this, that on, whatever. People are coming for blood. They're going to be coming for the big boys. So better be ready. That's all I'm going to say. You take the food and you start. There comes a point in time, Mike, when you get pushed, you're going to punch back.
Yep. It's like that famous quote from Fast and Furious 5. Remember Fast and Furious 5? Remember that quote we brought up on the show multiple times? When you dominate people with violence, lies, and deceit, and they have nothing to lose, what do?
Yeah,
they fight back. When you got nothing to lose, they fight back.
What did I just say? They're going to do that. Yep. It's inevitable. Everything you said, check. They're going to get it back. Mm-hmm. Tenfold. Not onefold, tenfold. Because people are going to be pissed. Like, come on. Like, people talk, the head of lettuce went from $3 to $4 to $5. Well, people are going to get pissed, man. When they can't buy the head of lettuce, they're going to get pissed off.
Yep.
They're going to start by maybe stealing amongst others that have it. They walk out of the grocery store like that. I'm surprised that grocery store assaults haven't grown exponentially lately.
Yeah.
Like, I know the people trying to steal it have grown exponentially, but I'm surprised people aren't sitting idly by and waiting to pounce on them and steal everything. Like, I told you, my kids are into the sports card collecting and that. Toronto just had a show just a week ago. A guy set up a display. He had a substantial 6-figure card collection that he was selling. He put it in his car and he drove home. 3 guys followed him. When he got out of the car, they hit him in the head with a pipe and took his whole collection. 6 figures.
That's
Good 6 figures. Stole it all.
And the police won't do anything because they'll say it's just forming an opinion, right?
Well, he is forming an opinion as he's getting his head fixed. But that's what happened, and that's just one case. But I'm just talking like so just a different topic with cards. But it's going to happen with food. People follow you home. They see you bought like a shopping cart.
Oh,
of
they're
food,
doing it already, Dino. They're
and
doing it
they'll
already.
steal it from.
They're doing it at Winn-Dixie and Publix in the states. In some states, they're doing it. There was a lady unloading her groceries in her trunk. It was a white lady, and there was a black lady taking everything out of her trunk and putting it into another shopping cart and telling her to go F herself and her whole family, but she needs food for her family and she doesn't care about this white lady. And she was taking out the groceries from her trunk right then and there, all filmed. And I don't think the police care, but she just took it right there and there, right there at the parking lot. Everyone was watching, broad daylight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, $200-300 in groceries gone. That might be all the money she had for the month for her buying her groceries.
Yep.
Now she's gonna starve.
Yep.
Like, come on, people, wake up, man. Like like I said, this is all planned. It's all political theater bullshit. And when we the power is the people, not the government, but it's reversed. We're supposed to control the government. The government's not supposed to control us.
Yeah.
They're supposed to ask us if we want something changed. They just pass all these Bill C9, Bill C10, C11, C whatever the fuck, and we don't have any say in anything. Well, you elected us, so we can do that. No. We tell you what we want and what we don't want. You put it on the table for us. Do we want that? No, we don't. Okay, it's gone.
You're right.
But no, they just throw things right through. They pass everything through, and they do it on a Christmas Eve, as we know in the history. They do it on different dates when everybody's celebrating and special moments and family time, and they're passing bills behind our back.
I got a message here. Dino from Food Banks Canada just messaged me right now. Hey, Mike, I'm just from Food Banks Canada. I want to send you this message. So he's basically telling me here, Canadian Food Bank visits up 150% in 4 years now. They're giving out food now once a month instead of twice a week.
Jeez.
Yeah. And we predicted this, Dino. The videos are up from 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago. Food banks set to skyrocket in your area, and food banks usage are going to skyrocket across Canada and the United States, and we did one for Australia too. Heck, I remember in 2018 we did one for Australia, Dino, and it was kind of funny one. It was about how homeowners in Australia that couldn't afford their $1 million 2-bedroom home anymore were getting food bank vouchers from the banks so they could afford to buy food so they don't default on their mortgages. I'm not kidding. I covered that back in 2019. I'm not joking. Yeah, that's how bad it was already then.
When you fly across Canada, okay, you go Vancouver to Toronto. How much open land is there?
It's all open land. We discussed this.
How
theory.
much open land? You can't grow a freaking tomato. You can't like a cucumber. Like, come on, man. We should not have any problem with food. Yes, our growing season's not long, but I could grow. My parents had 238 tomatoes in a small yard one year.
Jarring. You jar it all.
Jarring, yes, jarred it. Sauces you could eat for another freaking 2 years after.
Yep, you could even make your own pasta easily at home, and you can make it with good ingredients instead of the garbage they're bringing in from India now.
My dad had 220 gallons of wine in his cellar. The legal limit, I think, is 150 or 160. He had 220 gallons.
So I got a message here from someone else saying, Mike, you are right not to take sides. Trump is becoming a fool. You are right the whole time, Mike. Don't take sides. Yeah,
you're right. Don't take sides, but Trump is a fool.
No, I understand, but I'm saying it's just like don't, because everyone's backing this. Everyone's pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, pro-Ukraine, fuck it all, man. Mafangulo.
Yeah, mafangulo. Like, you don't think the Iranians are in with the America? Like, it's all a show. Like, they're all on the same. They're all playing the game of Risk. They're all playing. They're all on that board. They're all playing. This is what we're gonna do because they're in cahoots to go and shut down the fuel because they don't want us flying and traveling, and they want us to confine us and to make the gas go up. But there's no reason why the fuel should be going up because there's so much of it.
But the manufacturing fuel is gone down because we haven't, again, opened a manufacturing plant in Canada since 1974. So we're in trouble, right?
I get that. I get that. Yes,
We could create 30,000 jobs overnight if we wanted to, and
why couldn't you put one in? Like, how many does Alberta have, for example?
for fuel. I know Alberta may have one for jet fuel. I don't think they.
Come on, like one. That's what my point is. They should have like 5, 6 in Alberta.
Oh, they should have like 13 in Alberta.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
They should have tons in Alberta. They should have tons in Saskatchewan. Now the Saskatchewan's found all that. They have that Balkan Reserve as well.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
give it
every
up,
province should have
it's all planned. It's all bullshit. This is all bullshit. Like,
any province can get oil in overnight. It doesn't matter. They can get oil whenever they want. It's refining it into fuel. And if we could create 30,000, 40,000 jobs, $50 to $60 an hour jobs right across Canada. If every province opened 2 facilities, one for diesel, one for gas, and then the excess we just export, and then the people in Canada will just get paid wouldn't get paid dividends, but they'll be fixing more roads. They would tax us less because now we're in the exporting fuel business, right? If we did that, that's all we need. It was 30, 40 million people. We could sustain that by exporting fuel to the whole world, right?
Well, we don't even have like that 40 million people bullshit.
That's all bullshit too. I know. There's probably bullshit. 22 million people in this country.
Yeah, and even before that, we had like 15, 16, 17, whatever it was. And you know what? We should all be getting checks from the oil.
We should be getting dividend checks.
Sorry?
Dividend checks.
Yeah, we should be getting money. This is ridiculous. And we're selling off shit. It's all planned. Like these son of a bitch politicians, again, they're getting paid off. They're taking the money. China's giving them money. We're going to buy this mine. Okay. They take the mine. Like we're building some road. We're spending, I think it's 800 million, some up in northern Canada. We're going to build a roadway for a Chinese mine.
Yep.
So Canadian taxpayers are going to pay $800 million to build a frickin' road for a Chinese mine.
Yeah.
Make that make sense, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. Make that make sense. So we're paying for some other country.
Yep.
Give it up. Ridiculous.
I told you, once we say no to communism and kick out the Chinese and audit their money and audit all this dirty money that's in here, this would be a dream come true for our kids and grandkids. They could go buy a 1-bedroom condo in Toronto or Vancouver for $55,000, a 2-bedroom $65,000, a detached home starting at $129,000. That's what it's supposed to be at. Oh, Mike, those are 1980s prices. No, our taxes, our cost of living, food, and everything has gone up. Then the price of housing needs to go down. What the fuck?
You know, you hear so many people that lived through the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. They say the 70s and the 80s were the best times. Right? So, yeah. We should go back to the 70s and the 80s prices. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Yeah, that's right.
But we have to because the cost of living gone up. If the cost of living went down and we're paying 10 cents, 20 cents a liter for gas and food is like a dime a dozen, you could buy 5, 6 grocery bags for $20. Fine, then housing is a little bit higher. But no, we're paying a fortune just to exist. Housing needs to go down. Shelter needs to go down. Shelter needs to be tied to wages and incomes, not fucking Chinese money laundering.
Yeah, exactly. And in 1984, I remember 49.9 for gas for a liter of gas, and we didn't even have the reserves that we have now today.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should be paying the same.
Yeah.
They put in the and then this bullshit about carbon taxes. Why is Canada paying carbon taxes anyway? Our boreal forest is a net zero to a positive. We actually are good for the world, our country. These other countries like China, they all use this crazy radical amounts of coal that pollute the air. They don't pay anything. They laugh at us because we're paying.
Yep, they laugh at us.
Give it up. Give it up.
Why
are we paying for other countries? It's ridiculous, Canada. Wake up. Unbelievable.
It's bullshit. Country. Watch this, Dino. I'm going to bring up an article to help you out, okay?
Go ahead.
I read it at the beginning of the show. I know you heard it, but I'm going to bring it up because I just want to make you happy. Carney announces $3.8 billion to protect nature. New conservation sites in James Bay and Manitoba. $3.8 million, $3.8 billion to protect nature.
You can't make this shit up. It's actually comedy. It's actually comedy. It really is. Like, give it up. Fuck. Like, people are so dumb. That's why I always tell my friends, you guys are so like these people. Like they're some of these people I sit down with. They're like a year behind. It's like I'm sitting there going, oh my god, like, come on guys, catch up, get with the times. Like, you're a year behind. Like, you know, gas was still under $1. Like, come on, wake up. Oh, just unbelievable. These people, like, wake up. And these people think they're going to take their money with them too. You know, the ones that got dough. I got news for them. They're going to be in the same place as the poor people if they don't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to all be the same. We're all going to be in number one, two, three, four. That's it. You're not going to be the big shot and living in your nice house in the suburbs. So we're all going to be in the same boat. That's why I say strengthen numbers, kick out the stop. And another thing too, Canada. I'm talking about Canada, but there's a lot of America. I know there's a lot of people from all over the world listening, but I'm talking from Canada. Stop believing that elections matter and politicians actually listen to you. Stop believing that, okay? Just
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Heel versus face.
Yeah.
They're on the same team. It doesn't matter.
They're all on the same team. They all play in this. They all play. They all go for dinner after and everything, and they all have a good laugh. Okay,
Yeah.
so stop believing that elections are going to change things. And when we actually do self governance, punt these bastards out, and actually do self governance, then we will change as a nation. That's the only time it's going to change. Forget believing red or orange or blue is going to change anything. It's not. And I think these kids today, they see that. It's these old farts that don't see it.
Yeah.
Sorry to use that terminology because I'm getting into the old fart territory myself. But
everyone's getting pissed. Don't worry about it. It's not just you. Everyone's getting real pissed, and that's why they need to pass this C9, C11, C12, C13.
Yeah.
They need to pass all this garbage because people are just going to start outright calling this shit out, right?
Well, look at your show. You're allowing me a platform for me to voice my displeasure about the government, right? They don't want that.
And then another lady that was here earlier for the Every Child Matters thing.
Yeah.
Let me bring it up here. Moms Resist Canada. Momsresist.ca right here. She was on earlier about this big rally that's happening. They don't want us to intercommunicate like this, Dino.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Because strength in numbers.
Yeah.
They don't want that. They want to suppress us and keep quiet, and then we can't talk and we can't get together. And because you don't think that 1,000 people running to a city legislative building will not change things? Oh yeah, it'll change. It'll change in a hurry. Yeah. And when they're running for their lives, yeah, they're going to change things because they're not going to have power anymore. And they can go bring their 30, 35 people military that Canada has, and they're not going to do anything. I've talked to gun owners, and they say that per capita, and I've said this to you before, per capita, Canada has probably more weapons per person than the United States. It's crazy.
We got a smaller population though, so that's.
We have a small population, yes, but it's not. If you put the armaments in their hands, they're going to be strong, right?
Right.
Like there's a reserve in Manitoba there that Americans can bring guns through the reserve, and you can take your guns and start driving down the highway. They don't even know it's entering into the country. And there's RCMP sometimes that sit there, but I know people that have brought serious armaments up. So
arsenals.
Arsenal, yeah, and little lead bullets too. So it's not good. So like I said, people are gonna get tired of when they get tired, it's gonna be Well, they do want this though, Mike. You know that they
Hmm.
want civil unrest, and they want us going up against the government and this, so they can enact their martial law bullshit and all that. But
Hmm.
I don't even think that'll work. I think the people are just going to overtake them. So
Yeah.
hunger always works is more power. And what is that military like? They have family too, and they have friends and everything too. So uh, they're gonna have to take a side. You say don't take sides. They're gonna have to take a side.
Yep. A line in the
They
sand.
are.
You're talking about a line in the sand. That's different.
Yeah,
We draw
yeah,
a line in the
that's
sand.
true.
That's different. That's
Yeah.
completely different. And when I'm saying don't take sides, is to stop with this fucking bullshit you're seeing from all over the world. It's all bullshit. It's all
Well,
bullshit.
I understand, but what I'm saying is they're not going to get a paycheck anymore either. So,
Yeah.
because there's not going to be nothing there, so they're going to have to take a side, and I'm sure they'll take their side, the side of our side. So, I don't. It doesn't look very good for our friends at the top in the near
Yep.
future. So that's my opinion. But like you read that book, that history book, how history repeats, and it always does.
Hmm.
How countries go down, and you said it'll take, I think you said 10 decades to repair this mess. Yeah, I
It
don't
could
know if
take a
it's going to take,
century.
yeah, 10 decades, a century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, whatever. I don't know if it'll take that long. I think once people wake up, there is more than enough on this earth, um, and really, we don't really need all these stupid toys and everything that we have anyway.
Hmm.
We need simple. We need a roof over our
We need
head.
to sit with our neighbors. We need to sit on stairs of the front porch of your house again, and sit on balconies like you used to, and just sit out there in the summer and just talk to each other like we did,
Yeah.
and look out for each other. We never worried about economy. We never worried about anything when we were together.
But don't you notice? Don't you notice when you go to other countries like Mexico, Brazil, and like I've gone, those countries like that, Portugal, they do that.
They do.
We don't do that. In North America, they don't do that.
No. No.
You know what I mean? That's where we got to go. We got to go back to our parents' roots. You know, they used to have get-togethers every weekend.
Hmm.
Get together, and just dance and have some drinks, have some vino, and away they go, right?
Yep.
And some food, right? Obviously, food. That's what they did. It was simple life. That's what we have to go back to.
We have to. We have no
Stop
choice.
worrying about the $100,000 car you're gonna get or whatever. Like these people just look at the material things in life and they don't stop and think about the simple things in life that which really makes you happy.
Yep. The simple things are the stuff we remember the most. The simple things are the
Yes,
best. Some of the best times we'd never ever trade for any money in the world, right?
those are my best memories as a child and growing up. Yeah,
Yeah.
simple things, not the material things.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
All right. Dino Bravo on Mike in the Night making an appearance. It's been a couple of weeks, like 4 weeks since we've had you on.
It's longer than that, Mikey. But
5 weeks?
yeah, probably more than that. But that's okay. I mean, like I said, I like to hear other people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
nice to hear other sides, and I try to. Hopefully, this encourages other people to call in, and tell us their thoughts and their opinions. So that I like to hear it. Um, you know, it's always nice to hear other people.
Yeah, man. All right, dude. Happy Easter. God bless
Yeah,
you.
happy Easter. God bless. God bless you and your family. And yeah, like I said, we'll have to hook up a call sometime.
Yeah, soon. Like during the week when I'm at store, I'm gonna turn on the ringer on Instagram. So if it rings, I'll see. And then sometimes I
Yeah,
have the ringer turned off, right? So, but
yeah, I get it. Hey, you're running a business. I get you. I get you. I just, if I can catch you, I'll catch you, and if I don't, I don't. I'll leave a message.
yeah, I appreciate that, brother. All right,
You
buddy.
take care of yourself.
Good night.
Good night. Ciao.
Ciao. All right, that's Dino Bravo here. All right, guys, let's do a quick channel plug. I want to thank Paul Da Silva, PDS, for buying me a coffee. Thanks for the coffee, buddy. Throw your buddy over a coffee. Thank you so much, guys. We are built on coffee. And if you guys want to buy your boy a coffee here tonight on Mike in the Night, I'll give you guys the link for it if you guys want to support us. This is the only way. There's nothing else. We make our $600-700 a year through you guys. And also, guys, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube. And if you want to check out some of our stuff. Don't forget to check out our 7K Filipino home that we built in the Philippines for $7,000. You guys will love this video series a lot. Don't forget to check out our Conspiracy Vault. Don't forget to check out Philippines Adventure, Who Wants to Move to the Philippines, where I talk about food. I talk about everything on there, island hopping. And let's look at Portugal. Don't forget to check out our Portugal videos that we did in Portugal. Food prices, housing, different towns, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, get over to the YouTube channel, guys, if you're not there, and just support me on there. It's the only channel that gives me like $20 or $30 a month in AdSense. So, and Facebook is viral. I'm going super viral on Facebook, guys, and I really appreciate that Facebook is under a ton of lawsuits, so I'm very grateful. At least I could get my message out. I really am. I'm really happy. Look at that, 115 shares on the video I made 3 hours ago. I would never get that. I would never, ever, ever get that before. I just kept getting banned everywhere. I never get this kind of traction. And I'm not bragging. I'm just grateful. And here's the Instagram, guys, if you want to call into Mike in the Night. I'll give you guys the link here if you want to call into Mike in the Night. I would appreciate it. If you just message me here, I'll go into my message requests and I'll approve you, no problem. And TikTok, yeah, look at all the people following you. This is really good. TikTok is growing again, but once you approach 100,000, they usually just ban you. So TikTok, you can find me on there too. And MikeInTheNight.org takes you to almost every episode of Mike in the Night. I moved over 2 more episodes for you guys of Mike in the Night from 2020, I think it was. And if you want to shop Mike Martins, there's a link in the description if you guys want to buy something for the show, from the show. And guys, don't forget Moms Resist Canada. Moms Resist Canada. No more stolen childhoods. We had our caller in from momsresist.ca. Show up April 11, 2026 across Canada. Find your city. All the cities are here. Get involved. And this is on the April 11, 2026. And this is, of course, to stop the child trafficking and all the BS that's happening with these elites. And don't forget to follow Moms Resist here on Instagram. Please, if you can, follow this. Please, I would really, really appreciate you guys following this. Please. All right, it's Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. They're not hiding it anymore, folks. They are not hiding it anymore.
Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. It's 3 a.m. and something is moving you. Late night truth coming, breaking through. From the city's bright to the countryside view. Yeah, the signal's strong and it's calling you. From a condo high above the skyline row to a camper park where the cold winds blow. Cabin in the woods where the firelights glow. You feel that rhythm, yeah, you already know. Across the oceans, across the lands, different lives but the same demands. Searching truth and shifting sands. Now you're locked in, yeah, you understand. Mike in the Night, feel the rhythm ignite. Voice of the Commonwealth, breaking the silence tonight. From the UK to the US line, Canada calling, we ride through night. Mike in the Night, keep the fire inside. From Australia shores to the dawn's first
Yo. Hello.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Guys, we have No Way Jose here from the fourth or fifth biggest city in America, Chicago, reporting for us. What do you got going on down there? Are the bums dissipating? Or are you seeing more migrant invasions? What's going on, buddy?
So, Mike, about like a week and a half ago, a week and a half ago, it was spring break in pretty much all of the public schools in Chicago, high school and elementary. And guess what happened?
Teen takeover.
Yep, teen takeovers.
Yeah, I've been predicting these things because these people have nothing to lose.
No, they do not.
Wow. All right. How much damage? What are we talking here? Like, how many kids? How many? What? Where? South Side, East Side, Chicago? Where?
So it happened like on a Wednesday night.
On a Wednesday. Holy shit!
It happened on a Wednesday.
Well, wait till people have weekends off. Holy shit! And the weather's nice.
It was the 25th.
Yeah.
That day the weather was from what I remember, the weather was pretty nice.
Yeah. And the kids assemble outside, start flipping over cars and trashing things.
Or through social media. That's how they assemble.
Mm-hmm. All right, what else you got for us, buddy?
So so the headline is saying shocking videos show hundreds of rampaging teen brawling and jumping on cars, just like you said, during a spring break takeover of downtown Chicago, forcing an emergency curfew to gain control. Witnesses said around 400 ran amok through the loop Wednesday night with, some armed mace and tasers used in running battles late Wednesdays.
This is crazy. And these teens
So these kids were carrying around tasers and maces.
Wow. Yeah, because you're in Chicago. It's like there's no guns, right? Unless you're a criminal, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the strict gun laws in America.
In Chicago, though. But once you're out in rural Illinois, you can have a gun, right?
Illinois, you can have a gun.
All of Illinois?
The rest of the state, but just not Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's a no-go city with a gun, right? Didn't New York do that too? And you're a no-go city with guns?
Pretty much, they did the same thing.
Yeah. All right. What else you got for us, buddy?
Multiple arrests happened, multiple fights, according to the locals in the area of downtown Chicago.
Interesting.
Tactical dispersed to get the crowd under control, to curb the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, this weekend that just passed, there was like another teen takeover.
Yeah, this is just getting started. We're just getting warmed up. And I predicted massive teen takeovers in the future. Massive. Because these kids have nothing to lose.
They have nothing to lose.
All right. What else you got, buddy?
Like I predicted too, because as the weather gets better, more people will be out and about trying to enjoy the warm weather in Chicago. But then again, these teens will be around gathering and then causing trouble.
Mm-hmm. What else?
aside from the teen takeovers, Mike, about a week ago, there was another No Kings rally in Chicago.
Oh, another bullshit rally. Well, they succeeded because America still has no kings.
Yeah, they still have no kings, so they succeeded.
What a bunch of losers. Okay, and this is what happens when people take sides. They assume and they make an ass out of you and me.
They do. So, from my understanding, it was not only because of like the ICE deportations that they were protesting. It's also because of like the war that Trump started with Iran.
That was a big mistake. And America's not going to win that
That
war.
was part of it, and like I don't agree with that. Neither does a friend of mine who's also like a conservative like us.
All
He
bullshit.
doesn't agree with that either.
This is Israel's war. America's fighting Israel's war is what they're doing. They're redrawing the map.
Yeah.
Remember when Tommy hitting stacks, Tommy came on in Mike of the Night in 2023-ish? He showed us the drawn plans of redrawing the plans of the new Israel. Remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah, we were already covering this years ago. And then some guy goes on Tucker Carlson talking about this. It's like, who? Pff, old news, buddy. This is in the Bible, dude. You know what I mean?
it is. Tommy from Australia, right?
Tommy gun hitting stacks. Tommy, yeah. So he covered that in 2023. So, I mean, yeah. Continue.
It's like from the No Kings rally, the teen takeovers. You know that the mayor's doing everything in his power to protect the legal immigrants.
That guy's a loser, right?
He is.
Brendan
Big loser.
Johnson's a loser, and he's like that Chow. That is a Chow. What's that in Boston there? That Chinese mayor.
I know who you're talking about.
The Chinese mayor
from
that
Boston.
the Chinese mayor of Boston that hates white people. Remember?
That one, that
Yeah.
mayor.
Yeah. So, yeah. Keep going.
So during like a press conference, Mayor Johnson was asked about the city's immigration policies. When addressing the death of Sheridan Gorman, who was allegedly killed by an illegal immigrant. This was a college student who was allegedly killed by an illegal immigrant, all because Chicago's a sanctuary city.
Yep. Illegal
So
immigrants.
the press was asking the mayor, what's his stance about that?
And
He was asked, will you take the opportunity to apologize to Sheridan's parents for the policies that you have promoted, that have directly caused her death? Once again, I believe this is him. So this is the mayor, what he said. Once again, I believe that we're all grieving the loss of Sheridan and other folks who have lost their lives because of senseless violence, Johnson responded. Yep, this is him. Let's just be very clear, between the Safety Act and the Welcoming City Ordinance. The Welcome City Ordinance was passed 40 years ago. First black mayor, and the first black mayor was Harold Washington, and the Safety Act was passed under a governor at that time who was a Republican.
shit.
While Johnson said he hasn't spoken with Gorman's family yet, he plans to do so with the victim's family that lost their loved one.
It's really
There are
sad.
no words that no one could express that could properly console a family that lost their baby. And my condolences to the Gorman family, Johnson said. He also called out President Trump, who refuses to be held accountable for what?
I don't know, man. They're all pointing the finger. This is the blame game we're going into. The blame game. We're going into the blame game territory now, where everyone's just going to blame each other for fucking up. And that's why we keep saying, don't take fucking sides. Fucking bullshit.
Fucking bullshit. Yeah, he's just pointing the fingers to Trump, who's actually trying to enforce the law while he's not trying to enforce it.
He's trying to deport the people that don't belong there. It's like that's why it's all bullshit. This is like these people shouldn't have not been in the country in the first place, brother.
Exactly. That college student wouldn't have lost her life.
Yeah. All right, what else you got for us?
You know what I have noticed, Mike, like from riding the public transportation?
Tell me.
I have seen an increase of police officers in most of the busiest stations in Chicago,
Really?
train stations. Yeah, and then more security officers, and this is because of like the increase in violent crimes on public transportation.
Well, Toronto right now, Toronto, Canada, is out of fucking control right now.
I heard.
Toronto,
Don't
Canada.
they have like a drug use problem on the public transportation in Canada?
People are pooing on the train.
No way.
Yeah, they're just sitting there and they're hutching over and they're just taking a big, steamy pile of shit on the train, on the bus, wherever.
Cause like I heard like someone like was shooting up heroin on the Toronto public transit, and then like special constables are now supposed to enforce the law,
Mm-hmm.
have more authority.
Yeah.
So the reason that there's an increase in police presence and like security officers, armed ones on the Chicago public transportation is because Trump made a threat that he'll withhold federal funding for Chicago, particularly the public transportation, unless they step it up to curb the crime, to decrease the crime.
Mm. That's crazy, dude. That's absolutely
So,
crazy.
yeah, that's why now the mayor's doing his job and increasing security.
Yeah, well, now he's doing his job after he
only
gets...
because he's losing federal funding. He can lose it.
Someone saying in the comments, same thing in Denver. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Very ridiculous, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, what else you got for us, buddy?
So pretty much that's what's been going on, Mike. There's now like more security on public transportation in Chicago because the city does not want to lose their federal funding.
Well, once you start
There
talking
was-
dollars and cents, they start to smarten up, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, thanks for the
Fingers are
coffee, by
being-
the way. I just noticed you bought me a coffee. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the coffee. You're a good supporter of this channel, you know?
Of-
It
of
all
course,
adds
I
up in
love
the
this
end.
channel.
It all adds up. Every coffee adds up, right? And
Exactly.
I like that caller. I like that guy in the comments earlier that was calling me a panhandler. I'm like, panhandler? A panhandler makes more than $700 a year. And he doesn't put his neck on the line
You're
like
no
I do.
panhandler.
Huh?
You're not a panhandler.
Well, if I was a panhandler, I'd be making $20,000-$30,000 a year, not $700 a year, putting my neck on the line on social media and have a family and kids and a business, you know?
Exactly.
So, but
Then,
yeah.
like you said, more teen takeovers are happening.
Oh, I know they're gonna happen. I said like this is gonna be a big phenomenon across America in 2026 and 2027. A big phenomenon of teen takeovers because they got nothing to lose, right?
They had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Another pointless No Kings rally.
Yep. That was a waste of taxpayer dollars, and they had to fund all those people to go there to these rallies because they get paid to go there. Because no one in their fucking right mind will go protest this bullshit, right?
No, they won't.
So,
And then I believe there will be another one May 1st, another march. I think I saw an ad somewhere.
mm-hmm.
Another walkout
Yep.
from like jobs or like high schools
Mm-hmm.
to protest against the deportations
Oh
and the
God.
Iran war.
Get rid of the illegals, man. Holy shit.
I
If you're
know.
illegal, you're illegal, man. Toronto, in Canada, they did the same thing to the Portuguese. If you're a Portuguese in Toronto in 2006, 7, and 8, watch out. They'll put you on a plane and kick you out of Canada if you're Portuguese. They were deporting scores of Portuguese families. They were deporting Canadian citizens back to Portugal with parents that had kids in Portugal. Like, they need to start just get rid of the... And the Portuguese weren't even illegal. They came on a path
No,
to
they weren't.
citizenship. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They have the power to do it. Like I said, the laws are in place. Like I tried to live in America, right? I did everything
did?
they asked me to do. Everything. I had to make sure a corporation sponsored me. I had $32,000 in the bank account. I had a place in my name. I wasn't stealing Americans' job. I did everything they did. Everything they asked me for, I did everything they asked me for. They told me, get the fuck out of here.
You did everything by the book, and then they just tell you to fuck off.
Yep, that's exactly what they did. So
Can't believe that. So they do have the power to get rid of the illegals if they wanted to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Someone saying in the comments, Mike drives a Corvette. He makes big bucks. No. Me and my dad were supposed to restore that car together. That car needs a paint job badly. And I just maintain it so I could drive a car around town. I live in a small town, so it doesn't cost a lot of gas to get around in any vehicle, because I think I fill up once a month. So, and then if I go try to trade in my Corvette, they'll probably give me $500 for $1,000. So forget it. So I'm just going to keep what I have and maintain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a nice car you have, the Corvette.
It's a nice car. It needs a paint job, though. It needs... That's what it needs, paint. Everything else is mechanically, because I do it myself. I changed the alternator 2 weeks ago. I changed what else did I change on that damn thing? I changed the oil. I checked the brakes are good still. I checked a few things around it. I changed the hoses last year. I spent the whole weekend changing the power steering rack on it. So I just keep me occupied, and parts are not expensive too. So it's just it's a domestic car, right?
Yeah, that's good. The
Yeah.
parts aren't expensive.
Yeah, someone's commenting here. In all fairness, I see zombies in smaller Canadian cities too. Even normal people look shell-shocked. People look messed up. Yeah, I live in a small town with 2 stoplights, guys. You guys know this, been following me for years. And they're bussing up bums from the coast, from Vancouver and other cities. They're bussing in the bums. And the bums get here, and there's nowhere to go because there's 2 stoplights. So it's a complete disaster is what it is.
I do remember you mentioning that too.
Yeah.
Like when I talked to you
Yeah,
personally.
they're busting in bums like crazy. So it's really sad what's happening. It's really, really
Very sad.
All right, no way, Jose. I think we have time for one more caller. I'll let you go.
No problem. I'll come back in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, whatever. Update us on what's going on the 4th biggest city in America. I appreciate it, brother.
No problem, Mike.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah. All right, that's No Way Jose reporting from Chicago. 4th or 5th biggest, I don't even remember, biggest city in the United States. And what a shit show, man. Holy shit. What a shit show. All right, everyone is shell-shocked, an expression on their faces. I want to escape, just not sure where to go. Mexico, U.S., Vietnam. Well, we did our Mexico video today for you guys. Watch out. It's all coming for you. It's all coming for you, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, thank you. Wow. So somebody, Marcello, just donated a big coffee for me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, so much. Thank you. Yeah. If AdSense was fair on YouTube, because I get $20-30 a month on AdSense, if AdSense was fair on YouTube, 100,000 subscribers, 1,000 people watching, and my videos get more than 100 views, then 100, 200 views a video. If they were so shadow banning me for so many years, it would be different. It would be a completely different. But then again, I would have to lie to you guys, and I can't lie to you guys. No, Mexico video is already done, buddy. I played it earlier in the show. It's up here. It's a very important Mexico video. It's going viral on Facebook right now. I don't have many views on the YouTube. I'll show you where to find it, bud. Go here, right here. Go to the YouTube. Go to Shorts. And here it is right here with the Mexican flag. With the Mexican flag. Watch that video. It's very important. Very important that you watch that video. I think it's I think it's very important you see that video. It's up there. I already played it earlier in the show. It's a big deal, Mexico. Huge. It's even more draconian than Canada. And I lived in Mexico for 2 years, so I got around. I checked things out. I speak Mexican. I love the culture, the food, the music. Right? So
All right, so we got someone saying Mexico looks boring to me. You know, Deadhouse, it's not that bad. Like, if you could submerge yourself into the Mexican culture from scratch, 3 to 6 months in, you'll be like, right on. I'm digging this. You can't go there as a living in a compound or an expat. You got to go to there and be with the people. You'll see a whole different side of the world. You'll see a whole different side of Mexico. Right? There's 190 million people in Mexico that won't leave Mexico to come to America because they have it good in Mexico, right? Someone says, I live in Merida. It's rad. Yeah, I lived in Mexico for 2 years. I lived in a town called, in the state of Guerrero. I lived in a town called Juliantla. The place to be is in Puerto Escondido. Yeah. $10, 5 tacos delivered to your door. No, Carly, the Jews didn't write the Bible. Not even close. Not even close. Not even an inkling of closeness. July Mexico digital ID. That's right. The video's up, guys. Digital ID's coming for Mexico. Watch out. It is not safe for truth seekers. So I was talking to a buddy of mine down in Ixtapa. Ixtapa? Was he? Yeah. So I was talking to him, Manny. I was talking to him. And I talk to him a lot because I like to practice my Spanish so I don't forget it, right? So we're talking for a good 20, 30 minutes, and he told me that they're setting something up there where you could pay with a fingerprint now, where they want to set up a biometric system. Not the cell phone one I was talking about, something else. You just pay with your thumbprint. You want to donate money to women's shelter? Just donate with your thumbprint. And Mexico's pushing for that. They're saying by 2028, there's commercials in Mexico about this. Like, your thumbprint is your passport to freedom. Right? And this goes back to the mark of the beast. It goes back to all that. Yeah. No, Dino. The Jews didn't write the Bible, man. I'm telling you guys. If they did, I would tell you they did. Right? I'm trying to tell you guys, the Jews did not write the Bible. No. Okay, it could have been Jewish people that converted to Christianity after. But the Jews didn't write the Bible. Well, it could have been, again, Jews that converted to Christianity. Why would they write the Bible where they get dissed and kicked out of the temple and get put in their place by Jesus? Why would they even do that? Yeah, they wrote the Old Testament and the Torah, but I'm telling you guys, the Jews did not write the Bible. Again, it could have been converted, right? So Old Testament Torah, yeah, it was written by ancient Israelites, okay, and yeah, that was written by Israel. The Torah, I think the first 5 books was, they shared scripture, right? Prophets' writings and all that stuff. But the, guys got to keep remembering this, that all the early followers of Jesus were Jewish. They didn't stay Jewish, right?
like Matthew, John, Paul, Peter, they were all Jewish from that world, right? So the Bible wasn't written by Judaism as a religion, right? It was written, in my opinion, through a transitioning period, okay, where Jewish followers of Jesus were breaking away and forming Christianity, right? So you got to remember, Jesus was challenging the religious authorities. Remember the Pharisees and everything? He was challenging the religious authorities. The temple, we cleansed the temple, and the temple leadership criticizing it, right? Power structures being called out, right? And yeah, you know. So yep, Jesus overturned the tables. And I told you guys, remember that line I keep bringing up to you guys that Joe Rogan stole from us? Jesus is my guy. Jesus is my man. He kicked out the moneylenders in the temple. He called out the Jews. He called out the structure. He debunked them all. He knew scripture like you wouldn't believe. Jesus is my guy. And then what? A couple of weeks later, he's on a cross. He stood up for us. Jesus is my guy. And then Joe Rogan steals that, and it's like, oh my God, Jesus, what Joe Rogan saying? It's like, oh shit, get your own material, man. Yeah, Ethiopian Bible is the first true Bible. Sure, I believe that. But a lot of the scripture had to flee Palestine, right? Because Christians were facing persecution. Remember that, folks. Christians are still facing persecution, but Christians facing persecution had to leave. And they went to places like Ethiopia. They went to, they went everywhere to spread the word, right? You have no source, Mike. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to argue. You want to be Antichrist? You be an Antichrist. Because people in my town are like, Jesus never existed, Muhammad preached peace, right? So you want to be like that? You go ahead and be that. You want to be anti-Jesus? You want to go against someone that died for you, stood up for you, went against the Pharisees and the Jews? You go ahead and do what you want. But it's your problem in the end. Okay. Let's get another caller on. So the same girl's asking, oh, did you know Jesus personally? I got to be careful what I say here. I'll be super careful. Super duper careful. Don't worry. There's a lot of antichrists out there. Go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. You get somewhere. Don't worry. I am in Toronto, and I honestly things aren't so bad here. Yet Doug Ford has a record deficit. Olivia Chow is spending like a drunken sailor. Yeah, Olivia Chow. Yeah. So YouTube might get mad if you talk about Jesus. Well, anything that's right, they get mad, right? Why do you think they're burning down the churches? If the Christians are wrong, why would they persecute us and destroy us and burn us down? And you can't question Islam. You can't question Islam, even though there's 23, 24, 25 different Qurans. It's all modern day Arabic. that didn't even exist in the time of Muhammad. Muhammad was a known pedophile. He married an 8-year-old or 7-year-old. Why can't we question that religion? And everyone stop attacking the Christians or the Christian blood that came and built the fucking West. The roads you're on, the sidewalks, the running water, the sanitation. That was brought by the Irish, the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Italians. They built all this shit. It was all Christians that built the West. Yeah, we covered that. Trump said he might take out Iran out tomorrow night, he said. Yeah, we covered that earlier. So, yeah. All right, who else do we got out there? We had No Way Jose on. So we got Glenn 420 in the house. He's saying he's no longer in Surrey. It's too dangerous to be. It's too dangerous. It's safer on the streets on Vancouver homeless, being homeless in Vancouver than it is in Surrey, BC. The thing is, Mike, the West was built be us, and it's amazing, and so it attracts everyone from around the world. People need to appreciate this part of the world. Yet something is amiss in Canada these days. Yeah, because Canada's going anti-God. Once you turn your back on God, once a country loses God, finished. It's game over. Finished. You lose it all. Once your country loses God, it's game over. You're done. Something is a very amiss in Canada. Something is a big amiss in this country. Huge. All right, who else we got here? Oh, somebody else messaged me. Someone says the Agenda 2020 is from 1969. Right, okay, but we were covering it back in 2017 before all these influencers showed up to tell you what you already know. Right? And when you were covering things like this on social media back 10, 15 years ago, it was taboo. Everyone looked at you like you were retarded or something. Now it's happening. They still shit on me today. It's really stupid, man. All right, let's see who's out there. Who is out there? Somebody send me a request. Does anybody out there want to call into the show? California man makes so much money from hospice fraud, he can't afford to hang out with George Clooney. Yeah! I'm just going through some headlines here for you guys. All right, we got somebody else wants to call in here. Okay. All right, let's get somebody else on the show. All right, what do we got here?
Euro House. Festival anthem. Mic in the night. Transmission. Life. Neon shadows on the street. Baseline rising from beneath. the skyline. Hearts ignite, we awaken in my mind. Every fear just fades away when the rhythm starts to play. You don't know what's wrong, alright. You just move in the night. Close your eyes, don't fight the fight. Feel it lifting you higher. When the clock hits 3, you're finally free. At 3 a.m., something's moving you. Feel it breaking through, like a wave you can't undo. At 3 a.m., let the darkness shine. We've crossed the line. Oh my Feel the bass ignite.
Hey,
Yo.
Mike. Are you going to introduce me this time?
It's Corey.
Corey Hart.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Corey Hart on the show tonight on Mike of the Night. Thanks for coming on.
Are you going to put your sunglasses on?
Do you want me to?
I mean, that's my famous song, right?
Yeah, right here. Here we go. Right there.
Anyway, if you check your email, I sent you a song that I wrote 2 years ago. It's called Vaccinated Bitches. It's a rap song.
Mm-hmm.
If you play it for your audience, I guarantee they will love it.
I'll check it out. It's in my email.
Yeah, I sent it a couple times. I resent it again today.
Let me check.
Yeah. The beat that I used is a beat from a Ghetto Boys song, but it's been slowed down and the tone has changed. I put it on Shazam. I didn't pick up anything, so I think you would clear any copyright. I wrote all the lyrics myself.
I'll check it out. I'll see if I can play it. I'll run it through the YouTube algorithm and see if it catches anything.
Okay, Mike. So this buddy of mine told me I should watch this video one time called Papua New Guinea Pigs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about this guy that goes to Papua New Guinea to check out some weird disease called chaga or something. They were like spraying some weird DDT in Papua New Guinea, and the kids were getting fucked up, and they sent some scientist guy there to fucking figure out what went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In this video by this guy Jamie Deluxe, he makes a reference to this talk by some guy called Richard Day, who was the Planned Parenthood guy from 1966 to 1968 or something. So in this talk this Dr. Day guy gave in Philadelphia, there was a guy in the audience named Lawrence Dunnigan, who was a pediatric doctor who was about 30 years old at the time, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And what the guy claims he heard that this guy, Dr. Day, said in his talk was the most craziest fucking thing that I've came across out of all the shit that I've watched over the last few years. So I took a bunch of notes on it, and I'll try and just sort of go through it and make it as short as possible so you're not up all night. But basically, this guy, Dr. Day, was a pediatric doctor, and he just finished his time with Planned Parenthood. You know about Planned Parenthood, of course.
Yes, we were deep in Planned Parenthood during the Obama administration. We were covering it, and we were covering Planned Parenthood because basically they were telling parents to abort their babies and buy a Lexus or a Hummer and go ahead and buy a $60,000 sports car, but you can't afford a kid.
It's eugenics.
Yeah.
The original chick is this one called Margaret Sanger, and she was a real piece of work eugenics. She was like in the early 1910s or 20s. Anyway, so this Dr. Day guy, he goes and he gives the talk, according to the guy that was there, Lawrence Dunnigan. Lawrence Dunnigan went on this radio show called The New Barbarians with some lady whose name I can't remember. The year after this Dr. Day died, because he knew that if he'd said all this stuff, this Dr. Day guy would have denied it all. So the year after he died, he goes on this radio show in like 1981 in the U.S. And if anyone looks up Richard Day on YouTube, they can find this talk. It's like 2 hours long. So he says that it's going to be about predicting changes for the future. And this Dr. Day guy says they're going to have a new system in place by the year 2000. But he wasn't talking about communism. He was talking about something larger that was including like communist countries and the West. And he goes on to say that most people don't understand how governments work or who makes the decisions. And meanwhile, this guy, Mr. Dunnigan, is like taking notes of all this stuff because Mr. Dave specifically said, no one record this. And I don't know who had tape recorders with them in 1969 or whatever. So he says that people who make decisions in governments they're not people in public office, but they're names that people would recognize. And the reason he was giving this talk to this group of 80 pediatric doctors was so the audience would be ready for the changes that are about to come.
Right.
And he goes on to say that people will have to get used to the idea of change and become used to change and accept change and not to question change. Because in the late 60s, it was still kind of a conservative time, and change was something that was being kind of resisted. And Richard Day apparently says this one-liner, which I've been using now, which applies to everything. And you can say this to anybody, especially in Canada. People are too trusting, and people don't ask the right questions. My add-on to that is you could possibly say that, we live in a high-trust society in Canada. Canadians are probably the most trusting people on the fucking planet. No one in this country asks any questions, and they just trust everything.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's why they try rolling these programs out on us, because they know we're going to fall for it, right?
Well, what's my slogan since you've known me? What's my slogan? Don't trust.
Oh, shit, I can't remember.
Come on. Well, my dad's dying words. My dad told me two things before he died. His dying words were, take care of your mother and don't trust the government.
Don't trust the government. Okay.
Yep.
So one thing Dr. D goes on to say is that everything that is rolled out or out there in this world has two purposes: the ostensible purpose and the real purpose. The definition of ostensible is appearing or claiming to be one thing when it's really something else. An example of that would be like fluoride. They put the fluoride in the water. Why? For our teeth.
No. We covered this years ago. It's a byproduct, aluminum byproduct that fucking rots you out.
But what's the real reason? The ostensible reason, the reason they claim is that it's for the teeth. But the real reason is, I don't know, they're trying to make our lifespan go down, or I don't know, or make us dumb us down.
Dumb us down.
Yeah. So, this guy, Dr. Day, he was involved in population control groups, Planned Parenthood. And so he gets to the meat of it. He goes on to say that in the future, people won't be allowed to have babies or as many babies. Outstanding people will be permitted to have maybe 3 kids, but most people will only be allowed to have 2 kids. And he mentioned specifically the 2.1 birth rate replication. Like, you need to have 2.1 kids to maintain the population replacement, right?
Or maintain a bloodline.
Yeah, but he specifically talked about this 2.1 birth rate thing back in like the 60s, which is something I've just learned about. And this is where it gets heavy. He goes, I mean, if you want people to stop having kids, you have to discourage having sex, right?
Right.
But he goes on to say, like, the urge to have sex is too strong to be repressed. These people understand there's no way you can stop people from having sex. So they try and make it so that sex is going to be more for recreation as opposed as for reproduction. So they're going to basically say, like, go out and have all the sex you want, but don't do it to have kids. Here is contraception.
Right. And that's why the Holy Catholic Church has been against contraceptive since day one. And Pope John Paul also was against abortion and contraceptive.
So he goes on to say I took a whole bunch of notes on this a couple of weeks ago and I sort of condensed it down. So he goes on to say that chemicals may be used in the food and water supplies to repress sex drive. And keep in mind, this is 1969, dude. He goes that sex will actually be encouraged, but with contraception. And that contraception will be openly displayed, like maybe next to cigarettes. And that's something I've definitely seen in my lifetime. And that contraception will be advertised and available in schools, which happened. Sex education would begin earlier in schools to associate sex with contraception. And everyone who went to school, they all remember the, contraception thing, right? Like the idea of being a teen parent was like the worst thing that was taught to us, right? Like being a teen parent, that's the worst thing you could possibly do. But in reality, I think that a teenage kid or someone in their prime, 18, 19, is going to have healthier kids and be able to bear more kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes on to talk about how marriage wouldn't be considered to be needed to have sex, because in the old days, you know, there was no sex before marriage. But they would kind of throw that out, and that abortions would become legal and they would start to be paid for with tax dollars. All of these things that I've just mentioned that he was talking about in 1969, that shit all happened. And as I was watching this talk, I'm like, this shit all fucking happened, man. He goes on to say that school sex programs will lead to more pregnancies, but abortions will be accepted. Like, it's okay to have an abortion if you get pregnant as a teenager. Now, you remember that movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
That's right. Yes, I remember it.
What happens in Fast Times at Ridgemont High? She goes in high school, she gets pregnant, she gets her brother to take an abortion, and that every kid in fucking North America saw that movie where she gets pregnant and gets an abortion.
Yep.
That was the only movie that showed that, and I'm like, was that some fucking predicted? Like, that was a huge movie, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It was like probably the biggest like teen film there was. I love that movie. I watched it like 10 or 15 times.
Probably 1 out of 2 people in North America watched that movie.
Yeah, and they all saw like, yeah, you get pregnant, you're having fun, you get laid, just go get an abortion, you know. Later on, she started dating some other guy, and they didn't go all the way. That was at the end.
Right.
Anyway, he goes on to say that how homosexuality will be promoted, and that sex will be encouraged for everyone, and this attitude of anything goes will be implemented. And in this day and age, man, it's anything goes. Porno, being gay, transanity, all of the depravity behavior, like it's not discouraged or banned. Anything goes is our culture. Encouraging the sex is for fun. It's not for reproduction. If you get pregnant, it's more of a medical thing, right? You go to the doctor, you do all that kind of stuff. You go to when anyone gets pregnant, they're straight into the medical system, right? He goes on to talk about how clothing will be changed, and that was in the era of the mini skirts. He says that they will start to use different fabrics and accessories and wrinkles in the clothing to draw attention to body areas. Now, I've seen all these tight jeans where the wrinkles all kind of wrinkle up and they all kind of point right to the pussy. This guy's talking about this in the late 60s, man, and all this stuff happened. He goes on to say that bras will be encouraged and brought back, because this is the time of burning your bras in the late 60s, right? But, I mean, if you got a bra on, your breasts look nicer, don't they, to a man? But they'll be thinner bras. So, you know, it's not these big, gross things that cover up the nipples, right? And talks about how technology will be associated with births. Goes on to talk about how divorce will be made easier and cohabitation will become more accepted. And so when you're just living with someone but you're not married, it seems like it's easier just to leave that relationship, right? Because in the old days, you get married, you have kids, you stay together. That's what it was like in the late 60s. But if the idea is to sort of destroy all that with the purpose of bringing down birth rates, you could see why they would promote that.
Yep.
He goes on to talk about how women will be encouraged to work outside of the home, and men will maybe have to go work in different locations than in their hometowns and cities. Like, sweetie, I'm going on a business trip. So when the husband's away and the woman's in the workforce, that's going to diminish the ability to be a family and have more and more kids. And then he says something really crazy. He goes, at this time, travel will be cheaper and more accessible for a while to get people used to the idea of traveling and just moving around a lot. When you're traveling and moving around a lot, you're not at home. And when you're not at home, you're not having kids, you're not doing the family. When I was watching this, Mike, I was like, dude, all of this shit that he was saying, this all fucking happened. And what I realized later is, and he was saying they want to implement this in the next 30 years. He was basically talking about Agenda 2000 in 1969. And when you were in 2000, I don't know if you knew about Agenda 2000 back in 2000. I don't know how long you've been awake about this stuff for.
Well, we were covering on the channel and live streams, we were covering Agenda 2020's coming, and that was in 2017, right?
Right, but I'm talking 17 years before that. Did you even know Agenda 2000 existed back in 1970? Some people did, but we were too young, right?
Yeah, we were, of course. But we were on the Y2K bandwagon for a while too, right?
Yeah. So he goes on to start talking about euthanasia, and that people will be expected to live less.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes this comment about, you know, a person will live a good life. They can only expect so many steak dinners and so many orgasms. And I'm like, what a crazy thing to say, man. It's like, you had your good meals, you had your orgasms, doesn't mean you had your sex life, and now, it's time to check out. And it's like, you had a good life, you don't need to live to 80 or 90, maybe just live to 70. And he makes this comment about how ink will be maybe made lighter in the future, making it more difficult for elderly people to read. Because if elderly people can't read stuff, they're going to sort of not be able to know what's going on in the modern day and age.
And they tune into the mainstream media.
Or they got to get their kids to help them read stuff, right? Their kids are like, Grandpa, Goes on to talk about how the cost of medical care will become extremely high. And when medical care becomes too expensive, you can't afford it. You're not going to live that long life. Goes on to talk about how young people will be forced to accept that caring for the elderly is too costly because of the cost. Because think about it, you're a young person, it's like, well, we really don't want to take care of grandma and grandpa, but it's just too expensive. And you fast forward to today, what's MAID all about? It's getting rid of grandma. It's like they wanted to save grandma, now they want to get rid of grandma because they can't afford it. They'll talk about having celebrations of the end of life and allow the elderly to die with dignity. Now, where have you heard that term, die with dignity?
It's called MAID.
Yes, dude. In 1969, he made this saying, die with dignity. Now, keep in mind, this guy was at this talk, and he says this is what happened. So we're believing the guy that was at this talk, pediatric doctor. You guys can listen to this talk yourself. You just look up Richard Day on YouTube. It's all on there. I listened to this man. It was fucking fascinating. He goes on to say there will be changes in medicine, and medicine will be more tightly controlled. Medical care will become more attached to work, and no work would mean no insurance, and that free healthcare would be phased out. Now, in the States, most people's medical care is attached to their work. And if you don't have a job, you don't have medical insurance, or you can't afford it. Canada's a bit different. Like, not everything he wanted to happen actually happened, or they're still working on it. He goes on to talk about how people who work in hospitals will need to display identification, which would be part of like controlling the hospitals. Like, you won't be able to go in there if you don't have an ID. If you go into a hospital, they give you a tag or some sort of thing, right? He starts to talk about how criminals could be kept in hospitals. And so if you're a criminal put into a hospital, they can slowly end your life. Because this is all about reducing life expectancy, right? It's about reducing population. This guy was a Planned Parenthood guy. It's eugenics. He goes on to say that doctors would become specifically skilled technicians instead of general practitioners. And he used an example of some doctors would be lethal injection administrators. Now, we all know when you go to the doctor now, what do? They send you to a specialist, right? You don't go to just a general doctor who knows everything. He goes on to say about how practitioners would become a thing of the past and become employees. Now, all doctors in Canada are employees of the government. Doctors don't work for the patient, they work for the government. And so the doctors serve their employer, not the patient. And now we just saw what happened in BC with Bill C-36, where they brought in the new Health Practitioners Act, where they can send doctors to jail or to fine them $200,000 to do what they're not supposed to do, because those doctors work for the government.
That's right.
He mentions how the National Healthcare Act in the 60s didn't go through Congress. Like, they were trying to do a National Healthcare Act in the USA, like maybe they did in Canada at the time, but it didn't go through in the USA. They resisted it, and I think they still have to this day. The next topic he goes on to, Mike, is how there will be new untreatable diseases that will appear that are difficult to diagnose. And then this the Dr. Dunnigan, who's giving the talk, he goes, when AIDS came out, I remembered this part of the talk, and I thought, is this AIDS disease? This is in 1990, I think, when he's giving the radio interview. Is AIDS what Dr. Day was talking about? They have these new diseases now that just show up, and I've read a little bit of
That's
the
the
Bible.
Fauci disease. Fauci owns the patent for the AIDS virus, right?
I've read that one part of the Bible that says there's nothing new under the sun. I never knew that was a biblical term.
Mm-hmm.
What that meant to me was like the idea of just some new disease showing up out of nowhere. That's fucking bullshit, man. There's no new diseases. This shit's been around forever. So all these new diseases are manufactured or man-made. That makes sense to me. He goes on to say that back then cancer is treatable and that cures exist. And he says that Dr. Dunnigan says the only pronoun that he mentioned during the only name he actually mentioned through the whole talk he gave for a couple hours to all these pediatricians, he mentioned the Rockefeller Institute.
Yep.
He implied that the Rockefeller Institute has cures for cancer. But if they roll out these cancer cures, then these patients won't die.
Mm-hmm.
And the treatment for cancer will transform to comforting the patients as opposed to healing them, right?
That's
Giving
right.
them painkillers, right? He goes on to say that there are ways to simulate heart attacks.
Yep.
There was in 1975, there was either some sort of congressional or Senate hearing where you can find this, I don't know what it's called, where it's like CIA guys talking about the heart attack gun, and they hold up this gun in the thing, it's on camera, like 70 stuff. They had this gun where they would take some sort of seafood venom
Mm-hmm.
and stick it in an ice pellet, and with this gun they could shoot an ice pellet into a person. They wouldn't even feel the prick of the tiny ice pellet going in there, and this shellfish toxin would go into their bloodstream and cause them to have a fucking heart attack.
Yep. I remember that. That was in
1975.
I remember them using something like that in a movie once.
Yeah. That was based on some real shit. Like that wasn't some AI video I saw clipped on that.
Yeah, no. There was yeah, and there was another one with the prick at the end of someone's umbrella.
Shellfish toxin. I mean, everyone knows that shellfish toxin is real, right? That'll fucking fuck someone up.
You could inject it into an umbrella end, so you got your umbrella, and then they can inject the shellfish toxin into the tip of the umbrella, and you could just poke somebody on the street. I remember that one.
I mean, if you're getting into bioweaponry stuff, I mean, everyone knows that fucking venom is like the real live shit, right? So he goes on to talk about how nutrition and exercise would be needed for people to live as long as before. And this is the part that resonated with me. He goes, most people won't do the right thing. Most people won't be concerned about nutrition and exercise. And stupid people will eat junk food.
Mm-hmm.
And he also goes to talk about how more people who are into exercise, he said, more people will be running. And running shoes will become a thing in the future, and exercise equipment. Dude, there's fucking everyone running around these days. And the whole running shoe thing was a massive industry, right? He's talking about all this stuff in the late 60s, man. I don't know if jogging was going on back then. He goes on to say that like more restaurants and convenience foods will arise, leading to less home-cooked meals.
Mm-hmm.
And people who were too lazy to exercise and were dumb enough to eat all this crappy food, they would die.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that were smart enough to have good nutrition and exercise, those are the ones who were considered like good people, useful people. And he made this comment, he goes, the people who had the discipline to prepare their own food and exercise, they're going to be okay. And I was like, holy shit, man, that's me. They're fucking trying to kill us, Mike, but I prepare my own food and I've been fucking...
Dude, we were warning people before they even before they even pulled the trigger on the pandemic that it was going to come.
Man, as long as you exercise, as long as you cook at home and exercise, man, you'll be okay. And these people, they know that. And like the people who are smart enough to do that, because they need some people around, right?
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned that puberty and man will like enhance evolution, and he mentioned puberty. And we all know that puberty's coming way sooner now.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what the point of that is. Mike, he goes on to talk about religion.
Mm-hmm.
He says that religion is fine, but it will need to be modified to accommodate these changes, especially Christianity. And he made a mention that the Roman Catholics will be the first that needs to go.
Roman Catholics are the number one attacked people. And people, and the number one attacked people. I'm Roman Catholic. We're attacked all the time, and they want us out.
I'm baptized Roman Catholic. I got the picture of me and the Ukrainian dude back in Vancouver when I was a kid. So I mean, technically, I'm Roman Catholic. I'm not practicing, but I'm your people.
Yeah, we built the West, right? And people living in this in the West should be grateful for the Christians and the Catholics to come over and build this shit. Because people that are complaining or debunking or Jesus this and Jesus that, move to a Muslim country. Go enjoy yourself. Go move to a Muslim country tomorrow and see how it is.
Amen.
Yeah.
He goes on to talk about how most people won't need religion, and words in the Bible will have to be changed to obfuscate the meanings. And now I'm pretty sure they're doing that, dude. They got different versions of the Bible and stuff.
Oh, I got a version of the Bible from 1803. I got a version of the Bible from the late 1700s, and I got one from the 1920s. I got like 14 Bibles. I collect rare books. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I have history books that were published in Latin in 1604. I was looking at it with my wife upstairs. We were going through these books. She's like, "How do you read this? It's Latin." So I get AI to help me read some of it because it's the history that was published at that time, right?
Are some in Portuguese as well?
I have 2 or 3 books in Portuguese that were published in the 1800s, but most of the stuff I have, the good stuff I have that's actually I could send to auction if I like really wanted to, was published. It's in Latin. It goes way back, but it's in Latin, right?
So he goes on to say that.
See the book I showed today on my short?
I think I did.
I showed a book today on my short that was published in 1803. I was showing the book. Yeah. I was showing the first page, showing the publishing, about how a guy was commenting, or a guy wrote the book about the Roman Empire and how he existed during the height of the Roman Empire, when it was at its best time, and he was already discussing how it was going to fail and how it was going to fall apart, and which it did, and he predicted it because it fell years after he died, but he predicted it, just like this guy you're talking about with this video on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a transcripted it's a radio interview where you can just sort of hear them talk.
Yeah.
So he goes on to say that the churches are going to help them do this, because I'm sure these people, Rockefellers, whatever, they're in with the churches, right? And so the churches agree that they're going to help with these small changes. Talks about how education, like classics and literature, will have to be changed. He mentioned books by Mark Twain. We're seeing how books are being taken out of school now. They took how to say stuff, that Mockingbird book.
To Kill a Mockingbird with Boo Radley.
That was taken out of schools, or they had to change some shit. They've taken 1984 and Animal Farm out of schools, I think. He says that private schools will be superior to public schools, and that the private schools will have smarter kids. He said that summer vacations would be reduced to help get kids to get a longer education, basically to be in school longer. Because the longer we're in school, the longer they can, manipulate them and stuff. And he said that students would start to choose a path in school earlier. Like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Okay, well, let's get you into being a doctor at a younger age or something, as opposed to like general education, right? General education would be lessened. And by doing this, the people's overall understandings of things would be more difficult because their understandings are more specialized. And that school would become more important socially, and that sports would start to be through school. Just like basically just going to keep you in school all the time, because that's where they do what we call indoctrinating, right?
Right.
And there would be pressure on these students. It would be really hard. And the students who were like unfit, they wouldn't make it. And so there would be hard. School would become so hard that some kids would just drop out. And those would be the ones that would, wouldn't be able to make it into the next gene pool, right? Goes on to talk about how psychiatric services in schools would be increased dramatically.
Yes.
My mom was a district school psychologist, man. Her job wasn't necessary, I don't think. But they were bringing those people into schools. Talked about how adults would have to continue schooling. He mentioned there would be the demise pill for the people that couldn't keep up. And I'm like, this guy was saying that they would have a pill so people could kill themselves because fucking life was too hard in school?
Oh, no. Now there's climate depression, too. When we go through winter, someone assisted suicide. I think it was an 18 or 19-year-old because of climate depression.
It's just fucked up, man. He goes on to talk about how books would be removed from schools, even by theft, suggesting they would send people into schools just to, like, steal the books. And that not everyone would be allowed to own books.
Yep.
Goes on to talk about how Sunday laws would be removed. Like when I was growing up in BC, liquor stores were closed on Sundays, right? And how gambling would start to become legal, but it would be state controlled. And I'm like, well, that happened. Everything's open on Sunday now, and all gambling around here is all controlled by the government. He talks about how bankruptcy and antitrust laws would have to be changed. Man, I could go on about this, Mike. I don't know how much, if you still got energy to go on, but dude, one thing that was neat, he started talking about sports.
Yeah.
Because of nationalism, you know, people are like really, like in the U.S., they really love their baseball. They really love their football, right? But that's like an American thing. You know, they talk about like being a global citizen.
Yep.
They're saying they would start to promote soccer in the United States and to like diminish U.S. sports. What's coming up this summer? The fucking World Cup in the U.S.
Oh, the World Cup's fixed. It's always staged. They always have a team that's going to be the wonder team that's going to rise atop. Watch every team that won the World Cup in the last 10 World Cups. You'll see how the referees are helping them win the game. It's all bullshit.
But I mean, but when we were growing up, soccer was no one cared. No one gave a fuck about soccer in Canada and the USA. But now
growing up in Toronto was different. I lived in Little Portugal, so.
Well, okay, maybe in that one corner, but in the USA, no one gave a fuck about football. They called it soccer. But now, like, soccer's is really coming up in the USA, right? He said they would try and de-emphasize baseball because it was too American. And this is trying to demoralize the people a little bit, right? He said one way they might do it is to make the salaries in baseball so ridiculously high that that the public would resent these players who make so much money, and it would break the owners. Now, it didn't work, but salaries in baseball are fucking ridiculous, man.
Yep. Those Japanese players are getting hundreds of millions of dollars.
He goes on to say that football would be harder to tear down, and the violence part is kind of good. And then he goes on to say how they would start to make hockey more international. And as we just saw in the Olympics, man, hockey is really more international now, right? Man, he was saying all this stuff, dude, and the most of it all came true by that time, or is coming true now. And this is kind of really what I wanted to talk to the audience of the people tonight, to hear about this talk. Richard Day, Agenda 2000, back in 1969. Let me just think if I can throw in one little more bit here before because it goes on. I mean, it's getting late for you. He talks about how they want to start moving populations around in the States, how they're going to try and move a lot of people to the Sun Belt. And by doing that, all the people who live in the Sun Belt, Arizona, California, people are all moving to Texas and stuff, those people have moved there and they don't have their family roots there, right?
Right.
And so all these people who have migrated to that area, they're kind of more open to all of these ideas because they don't have their conservative family values that they've had in the places they've lived forever and ever and ever. He goes on to talk about how they would need to control the port cities, and then the people who live in the heartland would sort of be at the mercy of the people that own the port cities for all these ideas, right? Because it's the places like Seattle, San Francisco, LA, Vancouver that are the most fucking crazy for all the left-wing shit, right? Anyway, man.
No,
enough of this stuff, or do you want me to keep
I'm just
going?
taking in what you're telling me. I'm just taking it all in.
He talked about how he took his this Lawrence Dunnigan guy says he took his kid to go see a Lone Ranger movie, and it was so violent, and he regretted taking his kid to see it. And then he remembers being reminded of Dr. Day saying these things, how violence starts to become more normalized in culture to sort of desensitize people to violence. And when people are more violent, maybe more people will get killed, and maybe there'll be less people around.
Yeah.
He goes on to say that music would become worse, and sugary romantic music would become less popular. And young folks and old folks would have different radio stations. The old folks listen to their old romantic music, but they're not having kids anymore. He mentions there would be junk music, and the music would have messages to the young, but it would be basically subliminal.
Yep.
He talked about privileges being given to the older people, for discounts, etc., to reward the survivors of the Depression. So it was easy. So it would be better to ease them into their golden years. For the older people, if they were getting benefits and stuff, then they would be happier and less likely to be angered by all the new shit that's going on. Because the older people are the ones who are gonna resist all this stuff, right? He goes on to talk about how they would start to have like ID, maybe chips below the skin, and talked about using silicon because it is relatively inert. And he talked about breast implants and stuff. And dude, I don't know how many breast implants were going on in 1969, but I mean, boob jobs fucking took off, dude. and the shit under the skin, like, it's coming. So maybe they didn't quite get there by 2000. He starts to talk about how growing food will have to be controlled. And we saw what happened with the fucking ostriches and all these fucking chicken farms and stuff they're like getting rid of, right? He says the information that let's look at this for a sec. He talks about how they're going to be able to control the weather, be able to
weather modification,
create droughts or create heavy rains. And
Operation Popeye.
He says something interesting. He goes, people can carry in their minds, this is like direct quote I wrote out. People can carry in their minds and act upon two contradictory ideas at the same time, provided that these two contradictory ideas are kept far enough apart. And you can know pretty well how rational people are going to respond to certain circumstances or information that they encounter. So to determine the response that you want, you only need to control the data of information that they are presented or what kinds of circumstances that they are in. And in being rational people, they'll do what you want them to do, even though they may not fully understand what they are doing or why. And now we know through COVID, like, it's almost like these think tanks study behavior, right? And somehow they knew people would act the way they did, rational, smart people. Because when all the fucking shit came out in COVID, everyone just went along with it. And he's suggesting that they knew that they could control people like this.
I begged everybody to stay the fuck away from this shit. And we had vaccinologists, we had pathologists, we had funeral directors, we had fucking everybody coming on. We tried so hard, buddy, to wake. I mean, we tried. We really did.
He mentions that some scientific research data could be and indeed has been falsified in order to bring about the desired results.
Yep. PCR test.
He goes on to talk about war, saying that war will be obsolete, inferring that that war is not a good depopulation strategy anymore. He was unclear on that. He talks about nuclear weapons and mentions that nations who say they have them don't.
Nope, they don't exist.
And so in the late 60s, I'm not sure if he's referring to the UK or Russia or what, but you hear people talking about, like, well, do they actually have nuclear weapons? He goes on to say that there's a part earlier on where he mentions that they would start to offshore industries in the United States, move industries to different continents, but the USA would need to keep like an information sort of infrastructure. And he mentioned the USA would need to maintain some industry in case some of these nations don't go along with this global plan. So like the US needs to keep some of their stuff there in case this global plan doesn't work. Yeah, I'm almost getting tired of talking about this stuff, but I think I sort of got the general point about, I mean, I'm flipping through more pages here. At the end, he says the guy Lawrence Dunnigan who did this, who recounts the talk, at the end he says, we basically need to pray. Which I thought was kind of funny. Where he's like, man, I went through this whole talk and I'm talking about it now 30 years later and we all need to pray. This guy Lawrence Dunnigan since passed away as well. He was a pediatric doctor. This talk was given to a group of 80 pediatric doctors. And it was in like a convention center in Philadelphia somewhere. And that's what I wanted to talk to everybody about.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and bringing this up. But then it actually ties to the video we made today about that Roman that was writing about the fall and how the Roman Empire will fall step by step. And that was really interesting. You brought that up, how there's a video up, and this guy talks about how this generation or this timeline or where we're at now is going to fall. That's really interesting.
The radio show is called The Order of the New Barbarians.
Yeah.
And the lady who is being interviewed, her name is Randy Engel. She's an interesting woman who wrote a really long book about pedophilia in the church. That was her. She's best known for that. Everyone out there, Find this Richard Day guy, look it up, watch it. It's on YouTube, it's on Rumble. Man, like I say, I have all the shit that I've watched. This is the one that was so fucking nuts. And remember this quote, say it to anyone when you want to talk about anything. Say, people don't ask the right questions and people are too trusting. And when I say that to people, no one gets upset. They sort of go, yeah. They admit that they don't really ask questions and that they're really trusting. And that's the way to open up a conversation with somebody if you want to present them with new information that's maybe sounds crazy to them. I had an experience when I was a kid, Mike. I lived in Kitimat. I actually had Portuguese friends up there because, as you know, the Portuguese are up in Kitimat. I was my first day in a new school. I was in grade 1, and all the kids were like, hey, Corey, let's run over to the back of the thing by the field and let's play doctor. And I said, okay. And I was a kid that grew up in Vancouver. I used to go to Wreck Beach all the time. So that was, I was like a sort of a hippie kid that moved up to Kitimat for a bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Little
Portugal.
Portugal.
When we got back behind the bleachers to play doctor, they said, take off all your clothes. So I said, okay. Took off all my clothes, and I looked up, and all of a sudden, all the kids in the school came running towards me. And there I was, 6-year-old, standing there naked in front of all these kids.
Oh, shoot.
And I learned a really good lesson as a 6-year-old about trust. But what did I do at that time? I didn't ask any questions. And I was really trusting. I was like, I didn't say, well, what do you mean play doctor? I said, okay. And they said, take off your clothes. And I said, okay. I had that lesson as a 6-year-old. I wonder how many people who never had that thing where they got tricked and just believed what the people were doing to them and suffered the consequences.
Yeah. It's life experience, buddy.
Mike, did you find that song on your email?
I didn't open my email. I let me check here. I haven't sent it to me. I'll pin it to the top right now. I got so much.
I sent it like about 3 hours ago. It'll say from Corey and it says vaccinated bitches right on there.
I got like 2,000 emails in the last hour.
Oh shit. Okay, I'll send it to you right now.
I'll yeah, just title it like that. I'll find it. I'll save it. I promise. And if I can play it, I'll play it. If I can't, I can't.
I'm pretty sure.
I've been having a lot of They want me off social media. Period. They don't want me here. They'll find any way humanly possible to find anything that trips their algorithm to get rid of me.
I Shazammed it a few times. Nothing came up. It was Rap-A-Lot Records, which was like a gangster rap record, and they never became part of Sony or BMG or anything. I think they were just kind of like an independent record label from like 30 years ago.
Yeah, but PQM will pick it up. If I play a video of music or whatever, my own music, PQM, Punjab quality music, picks it up and then claims it as theirs, and then I have to battle with YouTube for it, right?
Like I said, I changed the tempo and changed the tone, so that's why it doesn't pick up. So you'll have to make the call on that. Yeah. But yeah, or you can even just put it on like another video or something that
Yeah, I'll look at it. Yeah. No worries.
I can sing it some other time. How's that?
Yeah, could you sing it for us too? I'll look at it. I'll look at it when I'm done here.
Okay, I'll send it right now. Great talk and a great show, and I'll talk to you in maybe a month or so.
God bless you, buddy.
Later,
Happy
bro.
Easter.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's Corey Hart on Mike in the Night, and he brings up some very interesting, in-depth topics here on the show. And yeah. So we got someone sent me a link. Yeah, good caller. So yeah, we have yeah, what I say to people is, if you have a problem with Jesus and God or Christians, then move to a Muslim country. Then go to a Muslim country. Why would you be in a country that's backed or built with the installment of the Ten Commandments and the founding fathers built from whatever American country, from Brazil all the way up, on Christian values, right? And if it's fake or whatever, or you move to a Muslim country, you'll love it. You'll love it in a Muslim country. This way you don't have to deal with Christians or Catholics. You know what I'm saying? So people don't know how good they have it until it really gets down to the wire, right? My sources, talking about sources, I have books published before Canada was Canada's 130, 140 years old, hundreds of years before. I'm referencing books. I'm going through books. I have books I have to wear white gloves to go through to make sure I don't damage any of the text.
I have books that I go through that talking about certain aspects of history that I'm like, whoa, I never even knew this happened. I even check on social media. I check everywhere. I can't find anything anywhere about these events that are in these history books that I collect. They're non-existent in today's history. Things have been changed, warped, you know? So, yeah. No, I got sources big time. And that's why I back it off, made a few videos back in them. Here, I'll play this one video for you guys. Go to my YouTube, go to my shorts. I made a video today, sourcing, right here. Oh shoot, I got two of them, my source. I got two books, published 300 years ago. So someone emailed me and asked, Mike, how long do we have to endure these hard times? Well, this book printed right here in 1807 in Coimbra, 1807. It's in Latin. And it was written by Titus Livius. Titus Livius, a man born in 59 BC, documenting Rome when it was still strong. But he already started to see it rot within. This is history repeating itself, folks, in our generation and time. And what did Livy warn us about? He said that after the Second Punic War ended, I think it was in 201 BC, Rome didn't get any stronger. It got soft. Wealth flooded in, gold, slaves, land, and suddenly Rome stopped being a republic for its citizens. It became a playground for the elites. Does it sound familiar? It sure does, eh? Livy writes about men like Scrapo Africanus, heroes who defeated Carthage. But after victory, the system shifted. Power concentrated. By 133 BC, you get Tiberius. Tiberius trying to give land back to the poor. And what happens? He's beaten to death in the streets by the elites. The moment someone tries to fix inequality, they're removed. And that's why I keep telling you guys, no one's coming to save you. They're not allowed to. Livy shows us this pattern, and it's repeating. Wealth concentrates. Land consolidates. The poor get pushed out. And the political class just protects itself. Sounds familiar, of course. Now let's fast forward to today. Housing is unaffordable. Young people can't own land. The middle class is disappearing. And leadership is, quite frankly, not serving the people. It's serving the power structures. Just like in Rome, Livy warned us, when a society abandons its values for wealth and luxury, collapse isn't a question of if, it's a question of when. So Rome didn't fall in a day. So to answer your question, how long are we going to endure this for, or this really rough time we're going through? Rome didn't fall in a day. It took hundreds of years of slow decay. And most people living in Rome at that time thought everything was normal. The system doesn't collapse when the poor suffer. It collapses when the elite stop caring. So to answer your question, a massive change could possibly take a century or more from today's date. It's going to be fixed? It's going to take 100+ years to fix this. Slow decay. And that's what they're doing. And they know they're doing it. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken. So someone emailed me and asked... All right, there it is right there. I have one of John the Baptist, too, I did, from an historical book that was published in 1720, I think 1736. Anyways. All right, guys, I'm getting tired. It's been a long show. What time is it? Oh, man, I've been here 3.5 hours, guys. I really appreciate you guys. Guys, don't forget, please, Moms Resist Canada. Go to momsresist.ca. Please show up on April 11, 2026 to protest the against this child trafficking and all the bullshit that's happening. These are all the locations that they're going to be meeting at. So I would appreciate it if you guys could go if you're in the area. And it would mean a lot. Anyways, guys, let me play some send-off music. What do I play tonight? What do I want? Yeah, I'll play this one.
detected. Mike, in the night. It's 3 a.m., screen still glows, satellites watching below, red lights blinking on every street, truth buried 6 feet deep, paper signed in quiet rooms, deals made under crescent moons, digital chains you never see, but something in you wants to break free. They say it's safe, they say it's fine, but why's that camera watching mine? Clock hits free, the veil gets thin. You feel the static on your skin. Baseline truth, all at your fires. No more silence, no more talking. I have spoken. Bank accounts tracked every swipe. Daily mind from every time.
Mike Martins here, signing off for episode 645 of Mike in the Night. Take care, and if you can't take care, stay safe. I have spoken.
Cuffs on steady hands, but in the dark the people wake. Feel the system start to shake. Eyes up, wake up, speak up, stand up. They fear the ones who see the play. They fear the ones who won't obey. Quiet truth begins to grow. Signal cutting through the room. Truth breaking through the blue. Like in the night, no disguise, piercing through the alibis. Midnight message unbroken. I have spoken. When the world sleeps, the real talk starts. When the lights dim, we reveal the parts. Not red or blue, not left